Alright, let's do it. Somebody give me a countdown.
Let's do this thing! 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Since the dawn of time, things have happened. People have talked about those things. First with cave paintings, then with language, writing, and art. In our time, we use the internet. From the depths of nerdom come four guys who'll talk about things too. World-famous internet celebrity Justin L. The destroyer of BotCon, Bedbugs. A man who rejects the concept of catch and release, Justin Catfish. And the customizing powerhouse, Mako Aspire. And Tyler F. This is Totally Alpha.
Alright, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to TKO Podcast number, where are we at? 32. 32. Alright, I am your host, Catfish, and tonight, as always, I got my boys with me. Guess we'll start off with Chris. How are you, and what did you get this week, sir?
Oh, a lot of fucking different things going on. Too many emotions to express. So we'll just move into what I got. Straight from China, I got some Lucky Charms. JL got the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
The Impossible Toys, Arlibus, Kranix, and Alpha Trion. They're fine.
No, they're not.
What? No, I mean, they're fine to stand on the fucking shelf and just look like they're part of the fucking thing.
No.
They're worth the $8 a piece they cost.
Yeah, that's about it.
It was at the real price.
It was like $26 shipped from China for these Impossible Toys ones. I don't know if they're knockoffs or not, or just old like stock found in a dumpster.
Yeah.
That's what I think they are.
I saw the pic. They looked kind of hurt, but hey, if it was only $25, I can't blame you.
They look like the rest of the stuff.
Yeah, according to most sources, they fucking look on par with what Impossible Toys actually was producing.
I bet you they were in Toy World's trash can when they closed the next people moved in. They're like, we gotta get this shit out of here.
Like Toy World's like, hey Zeta, you want this? And they're like, fuck no, we don't want that shit. So got that. I got a G1 Shockwave that I think was sold because the pegs in the shoulders are disintegrating, so the springs are pushing everything out and it's not staying together, so I got to take that apart. Well, I took it apart, and all the springs and all the electronics all over the fucking place. So I'm fixing that. I also got Impossible Toys Kremzik and the Quintesson Scientist.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Those are a little better than those foam things you bought from China.
Yeah. I mean, that thing lights up, and it's pretty cool.
Alright.
That's it.
That's it? Okay. And how was your week, sir?
Fine, I guess. I'm dead inside, so...
Okay. So same as always. Mr. JL. How are you, and what did you get this week, sir?
I'm really good. How's everybody in the fandom? Like, leave a message in our YouTube. Just for the love of God, somebody leave a message there that we don't know directly. I also got the Impossible Toys, Arbalest, and Kranix made out of Lucky Charms marshmallows. Yeah, they're like he said, they're worth what you paid for them. If you wanted to buy the real thing not too long ago, they were really fucking expensive, like $100 and something in the aftermarket. So,
but you know what those didn't come with?
Knockoff dick cancer juice.
There you go.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that.
Dude, I honestly don't even think they're knockoffs. And can you imagine if these are on par with what the officials were.
Oh yeah.
And you paid $100 and some for fucking Arlibus, I'd fucking throw it in the fucking wall.
I don't think they're knockoffs either, man. Because like, why would you? The guy only had 72 for sale. Like, why would you make that amount? That's like a really small random number to have.
No, not really. It's a 6 a dozen.
And they also had they had plastic tray inserts and everything. No boxes, but they weren't like a lot of the other shit you get from China.
Dude, when I got that little package and it was in my mailbox, I'm like, oh, this is not going to be good.
Yeah, I thought they would be crushed. They said in that. It was one of those where they like just tape a bunch of styrofoam into the shape of a box and wrap it in tape and mail it that way. They have like if they are real, they're like one of the rarest third-party figures ever, and they're just shipping them to you in old styrofoam. Not to mention that Alphatron's like his cape is glued in. It looks like the most fragile thing on Earth.
Oh,
it's like a piece of fucking little acetate.
And last Sunday I found one of those new Marvel Legend Captain Americas at the flea market for $2.
Yay!
The classic looking one, not the one that's on the classic card back, not the one from the new movie. And then I spent money at OJC on Alita 1 and Hunger.
Motherfucker. I could have used that money today.
My wife found them, and it makes her kind of happy to find me shit too. So, and I get 10% off at Walmart.
As long as you're happy, that's cool.
But she didn't buy them for me, so still got my man card.
I guess you ain't collecting this week.
Say what? No, he'll get his money soon. He has something to really want.
It's all right. I haven't shipped nothing either, so it's cool.
He was smart. He knew not to ship that shit first. No, man, I'll pay people I owe. You ain't gotta worry about it. It was something that I really didn't need to buy, but I wanted to secure it, so I gave him a deposit.
No, you need it.
Well, I'm gonna need it when it gets here. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, it's nice, buddy.
And that's all I got this week.
All right. Mr. Bedbugs, how are you, and what didn't you buy this week?
I didn't buy a whole lot of shit. Been busy with taxes, and then I got a wonderful gift from the Sandman, and I've been blind in the right eye for the last couple days.
Is that his name?
Sandman, or from your peener?
I'll let our listeners use their imagination on that one.
Yeah, I figured.
Let's just say I got some pretty good distance.
You're not supposed to let it dry in your eyes.
God.
I didn't know it was there.
You got to clean up first.
Hey, what did the people on your route get this week?
Funny you should say that. The full-time guy actually called me today, so my regular bosses are going to be pissed off because I'm going to miss work tomorrow because I got to cover the mail route tomorrow.
Oh, no.
Damn, dude. Jesus.
So,
You're going to fucking get fired.
Nah.
They ain't going to fire his ass. I guarantee that.
That's true. That is true.
I'm too valuable there. Plus, they don't want to go through the hassle of training somebody else.
Yeah. Well, everybody's replaceable. Just remember that shit.
Hey, the moment I started to even hint that I wanted to leave, they gave me a raise, so whatever.
That's true. That is true.
You should do that every week until you own the company.
Alrighty. Well, as usual, we have a very special guest tonight. Very active member in the ROC, Mr. Jose Diaz.
Yo, what is up,
Yo,
fellas? Thank you for having me tonight. I'm very honored to be here with you guys. And what is up? What's going on?
Not a whole lot, man. We're gonna have a good time.
Hey, we all know that Diaz is not the right pronunciation. You can call him out on that.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Hey, man, like, I'm just typical fucking white boy. I don't know. Like,
It's all good. It's all good. It's nothing new. It's nothing new. Diaz is the actual.
Diaz. Okay, no, that's cool. I like the way that rolls off the tongue. It's kind of tight.
It's honestly, it's the most common Spanish name like out there. You know, like if you try to look up a Jose Diaz on Facebook. Good luck. Good luck finding me.
So you're like the John Smith. Spanish people.
Exactly.
You're on that newer podcast, aren't you? Breaking the Mold, I think it's called, right?
Yes, that's the newest podcast on the Realm of Collectors YouTube channel. It's on every single Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Just trying to follow up on what the ETR guys do and get into topics, collector, related topics that maybe, other people don't tackle. And we're going to be bringing like guests on and stuff like that. We're working out a schedule like JC. I know you responded to the thread in the Facebook group. Me and Dave are going to work out the schedule. Like, we're thankful for everybody that kind of responded, and we're thankful for the response that the show has gotten. And, thank you. Thank you if you guys listen, if you're aware of it, thank you guys for supporting the realm and stuff. Thank you for having me here tonight. Halls, you know what? I've been kind of keeping it low key, but I was actually able to hang out with Pinkerton last night. He was doing some work-related business up here in the city, so I had a chance to meet up with him. And so we hit up Midtown Comics. I was able to break his Times Square cherry, and we hit up Midtown Comics, and I picked up the Gypsy Avenger and the latest issue of Savage Dragon. I believe it was number 232. So
Nice.
Wow, I didn't realize they've been running that long.
Oh, dude, it's one of my favorite comic books, and it's still written, drawn, and inked by Eric Larson. He's the creator. He's done every single issue. And
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been running since 1992. The cool aspect of it is that he does the book in real time. So 1992, so how many years ago is that now? 26. So 26 years have passed in the comic book. And it's a generational story. Savage Dragon, the main character, he's had a kid. Now his kid is a young adult. He's the main star of the book. He has kids now, and it's just incredible the stories that guy tells.
That does sound really cool.
It's wild.
I have an old ass hardcover of some of those issues, I guess, here. I just picked it up somewhere randomly. It's pretty cool. It was like still shrink wrap when I picked it up.
Oh, nice.
It looks like it's pretty old. I'll have to dig it out and send you a picture of it. See what it is.
Oh yeah, if you show me, I'll be able to tell you what it is. I'm a huge comic geek and stuff like that. I've been collecting since I've been like 7, 8 years old. So still do it to this day. So
nice.
Yep.
All right.
JC, what'd you get this week?
What did I get this week?
What'd you not get this week?
Yeah, right. I turned a bunch of more chug shit. Well, not that much chug shit, and bought some more masterpiece stuff. What did I get? Got Fans Toys Apache.
Yay!
Nice.
I think he's a little on the big side, but he's really nice, though.
Yeah.
But he just fucking towers over Cup and Hot Rod, so.
He was a big boy in the movie, though.
Yeah, he was a big character. He was.
He is big, but goddamn. But, like, if you go to, back and watch season 3, he's, maybe a head taller than RC. But you can't go by that. You just gotta. But it's nice. You know what I'm saying? It's a good unit. I picked up MMC's Frenzy. So I finished those two. Those are fucking great.
Nice.
If you're into those.
Okay, JC, real quick though, I have to ask you, which one do you consider Frenzy?
The red one.
Okay.
Right. I just go by the cartoon.
Yeah, me too.
Of course, yeah.
Sometimes I like to fuck with Legion, so, start that old argument again.
Every week.
People fall for it every fucking time.
There's always a biter.
Only in days that end with Y.
Right.
But you gotta
also
throw that hook out there, right?
Yeah. Oh man, it's fucking. Got some good ones today, man. I hooked up with Oscar, and that thread's still going.
Dude, that thread was going so hard I couldn't even load that motherfucker.
Yeah,
it just said someone is commenting, and I'm like, load the comment.
So we had fun with that. I didn't get a bit of work done today. Then I picked up Takara Masterpiece Ratchet, Inferno, Sunstreaker, Sideswipe, and Red Alert.
Damn, nice.
Man.
And they're all really, really good.
That's pretty sweet. What were you catching up and stuff, or you weren't buying them when they first came out?
I never MP'd before until about 2 months ago.
Oh,
and then,
nice.
Once I picked up Fans Toys Jetfire on a whim, and then I picked up Omega.
He went black and he never went back.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. All right.
Then I just started selling chug shit, and this MMC stuff that I've got almost every MMC piece. It's still going for really good money. So I sold 4 MMC pieces and bought everything that I just listed.
Yeah, nice.
He was all chug life for 30 episodes.
Yeah.
2 episodes later, it's all gone.
Some of my favorite. What, Bugs?
So what you're saying is that the fourth party needs to start targeting that MMC stuff, huh?
Yeah, they should. I mean, there is a market for it. But I've even been. Actually, I did. I sold. I have all 4 Make Toys City Bots, and I sold Pandanus yesterday. So that was a big step for me.
Wow. Well, good stuff, man. I was late to the Masterpiece game myself, just because when I was first seeing the MP cars, I was like, you know what? They're not much bigger than kind of the deluxe or Voyager class figures that you were getting. So I'm like, why are these things costing $90, $95? And that's kind of what kept me from kind of diving in. But then once I did, and then I saw the engineering and, how it was just a level above the chug stuff, I'm like, okay, now I understand, why it costs as much as it does. And, on top of course, it's all imported shit, You're always going to pay.
And I ran out of shit to buy.
Yeah.
I don't have. There's no more characters in the chug scale that I could get that I care about.
I was about. I'm sorry. I was about to ask you because you were saying you were collecting chugs. You're all about the chug life. Do you find yourself getting out of it now? Are you done with it, or are you going to still collect both?
I'm probably going to keep the 2 main shelves of just stuff that was in G1, but all the IDW stuff is gone.
Okay.
I'm getting rid of all of that.
I love that stuff. I'm sorry. Sorry, JC.
I know, and I liked IDW too, but as of late, I quit reading the comics just because shit just got way crazy, and it's kind of like Fall of Cybertron. I used to collect that shit, and the games, they kind of dried up for me, and I don't have any personal attachment to it.
They started a transgender, and JC said, "Not my house."
That's not technically true, but after Tarn got killed was when ugh.
Spoiler alert.
I'm good.
Yeah. I gotta catch up to the newer stuff. I haven't read anything since they rebranded Lost Light and Optimus Prime, and so all.
Neither have I.
I'm about a year behind on all that stuff.
Well, I'll tell you,
just stay behind because it's fucking
it's still good. I'm only 3 months behind now, but it was all pretty good. I just like to let mine build up so I have a decent amount to read at a time.
Yeah, same here.
I tell you what though, when I got that Fans Toys Omega Supreme, that shit was whoa. It gave me all the feels. And all this Masterpiece shit, it just gives me feels because it all looks like it walked right off the fucking screen.
Yep.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, enough about that shit. Let's move on to our shortened news section for the week. We've only got a couple things to talk about, and one of them is Imaginarium Art Jazz Statue. Fucking thing looks fire, man. God damn it.
It's great. I don't need $1,000 jazz statue.
Imagine if you were collecting all of these that they were putting out.
Yeah.
Yo, JC, you could sell all your MP and buy one of these statues.
No. I'd probably get a few, actually. They're only, $1,000 a piece, so.
Yeah, only.
The detail looks awesome, but the pose they chose, it makes me think this thing's going to be so fucking fragile that the first person to buy it, it's going to arrive broken and they're going to be so pissed.
That could be. But yeah,
Are these final colors?
It's very possible that the Jazz will come as a separate piece that's on a post.
Yep.
It's probably got a metal rod that goes all the way up that leg.
Seems like
Yeah, it does.
Seems like they're pulling a Fans Toys though, and they're putting out more renders of shit than they're actually getting out. You know. But this stuff never shows up to cons, so I've never seen any of it in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is stuff that you gotta, I guess, kind of, push your order in, and you'll get it shipped to you. I wish stuff like this was stuff I could afford, but just bottom line, I can't afford a $1,000 statue. I guess you can argue that you could save for it, but I'm not willing to do that for something that's static and it's just gonna be on the shelf and you can't really get it around.
My wife would kill a motherfucker if I brought this shit home.
I don't even want it though.
I don't want that Devastator one. I can tell you that.
Well, Devastator's different, man. I don't want the whole damn Autobot cast in statue form.
That'd be cool. It'd be tight though. Look, I got $150,000 in statues.
Yeah, but this ain't G1 Jazz either. This is some Fall of Cybertron, Warbertron looking thing.
No,
it's stylized. It's stylized.
He's got seashells on his ankles.
Chest is way off too.
Yeah, this is not G1 Jazz. These people saw a picture of G1 Jazz and tried to draw it from memory.
Yeah, it's stylized for sure. I don't mind, them doing a stylized take, but, and again, hats off to the people that got it like that and could buy pieces like this, no problem. But I just can't do it. It's not for me.
I'd rather buy super rare figures, super rare G1, than buy statues for $1,000.
But what if they made them so they all connected to each other, one big modular base?
One big $500,000 room full of statues.
Where are you gonna put it?
Yeah, these things are pretty big, I heard.
Yeah, these are huge. This fucking thing's probably 18 inches high.
That thing is literally my entire 4-stack of DTOF's worth of fucking money.
No, it's not.
$1,000.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you mean just the shelves?
No, the value.
I mean the figures on the shelves. Yeah, you know what? You're wrong, man. There's a few grand there. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
What am I doing with my life? I think I'm gonna check out of here.
Dude, I counted up my NMC shit the other day, and I was 3,000. I had 3,000.
Never add it all up. Never.
Don't do it. You don't do that, and you don't go full retard.
I could have had 2 Countoshes.
It still hasn't touched the amount of weed I've smoked.
You know what? I think I spent more money on Transformers than vodka though. Overall.
Really?
Dude, that makes it worse because it's weed and toys for the fucking past 20 years. Imagine how much fucking.
Jeez.
We're at least at $250,000 of just shit that I don't need.
I only spend $15 a week on vodka, but I spend a couple $100 a month on Transformers.
Yeah. But times your vodka over what, 25 years for you?
I'm 35, so 32 years.
For me, when I was figuring out weed, I was $60 a day for fucking 20 years.
Yeah, but you were only 25 when you added that up.
And then I was and then a pack of cigarettes. And then I used to smoke cigarettes for 20 years too. And then I added that up. And that was $6 a day for 20 years. And this shit came out to $190,000 or some shit.
Jesus Christ.
That was the best thing I ever did was stop. I smoked for probably almost 10 years. And then I got quit. I was just done with it one day.
Yo, imagine if you had some magical shit out of nowhere that could tell you how much money you've spent in your life.
No, I don't want to know.
That shit would be crazy.
You know what the sad part is? The sad part is the amount I spent in my life would probably be higher than my total wages.
Yep.
True. I think that's true for a lot of us, though.
How did I buy that shit?
How much money have I spent on food that I've wasted?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Fuck. Stupid.
America!
All stupid Americans, but that's how we do it.
We throw away more food than a lot of countries have to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck them.
Capitalism,
Fuck 'em.
bitches.
Fuck them. Let them starve. Goddamn.
My mom, alright, look, when I was a kid, not to mention I was a fat kid, But my mom would always tell me to finish my food. She'd say, think about the starving children overseas. I said, send it to them. They can have it. My mom told me I was a smart ass, man.
Oh, you are.
I don't want to eat it. Send it to him. Fuck it. I'm so hungry.
Alrighty. So who's in on this? Chris, I know you're buying 2 of them.
Yeah.
Chris is going to knock it off with some fucking sculpty putty.
Nobody's in on this shit.
I think all of us together could go in on one and share it.
That's fine. So what we got next for the news is Bad Cube. Looks like Bad Cube teased something that looks like a movie figure lineup for 2018.
For the dead movie. For the dead movie.
Thoughts are on this?
I don't think it's all movie designs. I mean, I see Ravage on the bottom, but that looks more like Transformers Prime Optimus on the bottom left corner with the shoulder pads.
It's like almost their own take on shit.
Oh God, don't do this like Make Toys did.
It's what it looks like to me, man.
It looks horrible.
And then you see that one right above Ravage. Yeah, that looks like the little Energon Scout figure, Skyblast. It looks like it's got the Energon chip in the chest there.
Yeah, maybe this is just one of the pictures their kids drew they had on the refrigerator.
And then like you look at the really big one in the top right corner, that looks like a take on some kind of Transmetal Megatron.
Yep. Some of it is hard to make out. And if they were going to start doing like third-party Transformers Prime stuff, I'm all for that shit.
Yeah, me too. I'll buy that.
But be easy with like trying to appropriate like the Transformers Prime look into like an original design. Like there's a fine line you got to walk right there.
You know what this is? I think I got it figured out. Bayverse Cybertron modes.
I think it's just hard.
Nice.
Look at that sound wave up at the top.
Is that supposed to be Soundwave?
I think Soundwave looks like it's satellite mode, doesn't it?
It looks to me like it's Jetstorm from Beast Machines.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me too.
I don't know any of that. I don't know what
they all look like a pile of shapes.
And then the one in the bottom right corner with all the tires, is that supposed to be Strika, or maybe it kind of looks like Movie Bone Crusher, but
it all looks like Energon or Armada shit to me.
Nobody knows what it is.
It looks really
Somebody needs to call Bad Cube and tell him no.
Yeah, exactly. No.
Like, hey, just call and be like, what are y'all doing?
Just
reissue. If we can't identify it, fuck off.
Just reissue that Brawn for $30 for eternity. That's all we need from you now.
Right. Do something of value.
So hearing that from you guys, I want to ask you, because I know you spoke a little bit about like that bull sideswipe last week. What do you think about companies doing that overall, just stepping outside the box, doing G1 inspired characters in a different way? Like, would you be for that if it was a design that you liked? You know?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
I want to finish all my...
way.
Okay, man.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I want to finish all my G1 and IDW stuff, and I really just want stuff that I watched. I don't want any new original ideas.
I'm going to run out of things to buy eventually, so I'm going to need a different line to get into, and I'm cool with the mechanized animal look.
Yep.
You know, I just can't get with that fucking Beast Wars.
Why don't you just get into Care Bears?
How do you know I don't get into Care Bears? How do you know I have one that has a fucking pussy sewn into it so I can really get into Care Bears?
I was at your house. I didn't see one.
You didn't see everything.
I don't understand why these third parties are trying to go completely original when there's still some stuff that they could do with like other lines. I mean, what was it? The one company that was supposedly making the Scrapper and Mixmaster for animated. Nobody has tackled them yet, and I could see with other lines if they wanted to introduce new characters into Prime or into animated, or even if they wanted to do more characters into Beast Wars, there's an established aesthetic there that would broaden the market for what they're trying to sell, is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
I just want the Prime characters, like the Season 1 Autobots. I don't even need the fucking Decepticons. Just the Autobots would work.
Shit. Fucking. I bought those Make Toys Cross Dimension things.
No.
I had them for a while. They didn't do shit for me. I just sold them not too long ago.
You had Thunder Uterus?
I did have Thunder Uterus.
See, I like those. See, I got those, and I held off on the line because initially, to me, I'm like, the design's like, like I don't need it. But then once I got it in hand, what was it? The first one was the Striker Manus. The articulation, like I'm into kind of like SH Fig Arts and stuff where the articulation is incredible, and that was basically like a SH Fig Arts transformer. Like I was able to put him in a super kick position. Optimus Prime was doing a Shawn Michaels super kick. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, and it actually held the pose. You could stand it and balance it on one leg. It was incredible, like the engineering, and then for the price. You know, I think I paid $65. I got it for a better deal, secondhand, but I think they were charging $80 for it. That thing, they could charge $100, and I pay $100 gladly for kind of like what you get. The design is a little bit different, but I think I like the articulation factor that they give you. It has a better playability, you know, and fuck it, like, you know, original stuff, original designs, like you guys said, we're going to run out of shit to buy. You know, so if you're cool with like a mechanized bull side swipe, which I kind of dig the idea, you know what? Eventually, you know, why not? Why not get into shit like that once everything else dries up, you know?
I feel you. I mean, and I like that cross-dimension shit too. I thought it was good stuff, but like, once I started cutting shit, they were on the cut list.
Yep. I hear you. I hear you on that, because sometimes that's what you got to do. I was doing the same thing at NJCC, like, you know, just kind of trying to focus the collection and, you know, get rid of like the excess, you know, and try to, you know, got to try to make the wife happy and stuff.
Yeah, there's only so much retail space, you know.
Exactly.
But anyway, yeah, Backcube, don't do this. I know you're listening. Don't do this. Make us a Skylinks.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know about a bad cube Skylinks though.
Do some fucking G1 combiners that are the size of Devastator.
Dude, how hard would it be to fucking do a Skylink?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, but
It's a shuttle, you open up the fucking wings and you make them flap. And and you got the links part.
Bad Cube would find a way to put like 500 flaps and panels in that shit. You would you'd have to turn it inside out to make it a like fucking Griffin from the space shuttle.
That's the thing with.
Why you no right fraps?
That's the shit with Backcube, man. Like their fucking transformations are so complicated. Like I can't deal. Like it's too much. It's too much.
Their newer stuff ain't too bad. Like that swerve and gears ain't too bad.
That fucking side swipe was like that shit exploded out, and then like you had to fucking put it everything all back together.
The Sunstreaker?
Yeah. You
know, I've never transformed it, dude. I got it in robot mode from the person I bought it from. It's been in robot mode ever since. I started to transform it like drunk one night, and I made it like 2 steps in. I'm like, I can't do this. Put it back.
Yeah. Energon Addict bought mine, and I was like, dude, he doesn't live too far. He's about a half an hour away driving, and he picked it up in person. I'm like, dude, I can't transform this back into car mode. You're just gonna have to come again.
Yeah. I was about to submit that shit to like Texas to the textbook people, like the visualization of the Big Bang. It's like boom, it just explodes into shit. It'd be easier to take it apart and just put it back together in the mode you want.
Yeah, I bet. There's been a few figures I've done that with, like pop the arm off. I'm like, all right, let's make it easier.
I've done that before.
Put that shit on when I'm all done.
We spent way too much time on that Backcube shit.
Who cares? Whatever.
I think we should move on.
All right, so I'm starting a new segment tonight that me and JL argued about today, but I don't care. You know, so I'm gonna feature. So there's 900,000 fucking photographers in the fandom. So each week I'm gonna pick a photograph and just feature that person and then put it up on our Facebook page. And tonight I decided to choose the best photographer, in the fandom, which is Kuma Style and his picture of Iron Factory, Bruticus, and Starscream. And I will be putting that up on the Facebook page, and it's really dope.
Nice.
I was scrolling through and it caught my eye, and if anybody's out there, go check out his Facebook page, Kuma Style, and check out his photography because it's really good.
Yeah. Yep.
And JC's gonna fight him at DairyCon.
And I'm still gonna fight him at DairyCon. No, we ain't gonna fight. We worked out all our.
I was gonna say I got $15 on TJ, man.
Oh, I got $100 on TJ. Shit. But I don't know. I couldn't fuck with that dude. Big boy. But
yeah, that's a good picture, man. I skipped on that figure though. Like I haven't.
What, that Bruticus?
Yeah, because like I've seen a lot of reviews on it, and a lot of them say he stresses really good.
That he what?
He has stress marks. Like he gets stress marks really bad. Like all over.
It looks like some softer plastic, like some Fans Project plastic.
Yeah, but the rest of their shit don't do that. Like it's just like this guy.
Maybe Mech Fans Toys will knock it off and fix it.
Ooh.
No.
Doesn't matter because I already have the I got the one set and I got the other set coming. It's
you got the Jimmy Jank
through
set?
customs. No, I got the real one.
Yeah.
Iron Factory.
Oh, you do have the Iron Factory set, the little guys?
Yeah.
I didn't know you had that. I should have seen that.
Yep, we're all on swindle.
I was a little inebriated at your house.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, I suppose that wraps up that, and we'll move right along into our custom spotlight, and I will hand it over to Chris.
All right, thank you for the reins, sir. This evening, there was a project on Facebook called the As You Wish Project. I put the link here in the notes, and I'll put it in the description. But I'm going to read what they have written as a description. If Darth Vader were a xenomorph, man, that would be one heck of a scary movie. Scarier than all of the Alien movies combined. Behold the evilness right here before your very eyes. Thomas Spanos from the As You Wish Project created this mashup of Lord Vader and a xenomorph into one cool helmet. It even features Vader's lightsaber as a secondary alien mouth. It's called the HRG Trooper, named after H.R. Giger, who designed the original Alien. It is terrifying and awesome. If Ripley saw this thing, she will just run out of airlock. You can't fight something this awesome and insane. You just can't win against Vader as an alien.
Fucking stupid.
Yo, you know what this tells me, man? Is that this guy, he can make stuff that's way cooler than he is. That description is like, yeah, buddy.
Yeah, I don't know who fucking wrote this bit, but I mean, the project itself is cool. I like it.
Yeah. Very talented.
I mean, you're mixing fucking Star Wars and Alien. Two things I fucking love. Of course I'm gonna like this.
Yep.
So you think this guy, with his name being Thomas Spanos, goes by Thanos?
Yeah, I thought the same thing. He probably does. He sounds like that kind of nerd. It looks like he sculpted his hair out of the same stuff.
Yeah, so, I mean, what we're looking at, I'm sorry.
He's a ginger.
We're not even doing a good job. We have a mixture of Darth Vader and a xenomorph skull. It looks like the lower half is all the black part of the Vader costume, and the top of the helmet is what seems to be the exposed bone of a xenomorph combo into Vader kind of thing skull.
What about if it's just a white xenomorph that's into really kinky shit?
Could be. It looks like that fucking suit from 7. But yeah, the guy sculpted this thing out of fucking blocks of foam. And he looks like a fucking nice Amish man, fucking rough-hewing his thing here.
What the fuck you gotta be Amish for?
If he was Amish, he's missing the beard.
Yeah.
Very true.
Well,
That hair makes
not
up
old.
for it.
Yeah, he's not old enough yet to have the beard.
Yes, he is.
Or he's follically challenged.
God.
I don't know, but it's got the lightsaber coming out of the mouth. It's supposed to be the little secondary alien chopper mouth.
He lost his beard in a horrible churn accident.
You know, that shit actually happens, man. It's not
Oh,
a
yeah,
joke.
sure.
Oh, shut up. What are you fucking talking about?
I'm telling you, I live in Amish country, boy.
The Amish are in Iowa?
No, you don't. I live
There's
in
no-
Amish country.
Well,
no Amish.
shit, dude, I live by the Amana colonies, bud. I had
Ooh,
them
Amish-
motherfuckers put my roof on.
Amish fight! Amish fight!
They fucking
Clip,
showed
clop,
up here
clip,
and
clop.
put a roof on in like 20 minutes.
You know what's gotta suck? Is being an Amish podcaster.
Mm.
Yeah, I bet.
It's really hard to get your shit out there when you can't record it and don't have the internet.
No, they come back from the city and or from the town selling their fucking baked goods, and they hear podcasts while they're there. So the kids are like, why don't we just go out, get some peas, and throw them, and we'll do our own podcast.
You know, some of our fucking grocery stores here actually have places for them to park their horses with a water trough and shit like the old West days.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is kind of awesome.
I'm gonna steal a horse from Amish people.
Mm.
No, that's not a good idea.
Yeah, I don't know how to ride a horse.
They'll
That'd be
fuck
kind of
you
funny.
up.
Yeah, Amish, while they're not exactly technologically advanced, they have a decent-sized arsenal of firearms.
Yeah.
Mhm. They will fuck you up and then they will build some shit.
You ever see them file out of one of those trailers behind their tractors like a clown car?
Oh, yeah. I'm telling you, man, when they showed up here to do the roof, man, there was like 10 of them in a little fucking van. And they all just popped out of the van, did the roof, and
Well,
left.
who drove the van?
Just some old white guy. He
Was
just
he
sat in
Amish?
the van. No, he was
No.
an old regular white guy wearing, like a maintenance uniform, like a denim maintenance uniform. He
And
just
that's
sat in the
hard.
van.
That's hardcore as hell, dude. They're like,
Yeah, he just sat in there and smoked cigarettes all fucking day long, man.
Yep, he's just a driver. I had my shop built by the Amish. So they were here for probably a good week or so getting that shit done. And my fucking building inspector around here is such a fucking dislike cocksucker that he managed to piss the Amish guys off.
Oh, shit.
Did they give
Yeah,
him a
it-
bad Yelp review?
Had something to do with the footing not being like they substituted something that was the same thing, pounds wise, but he's like, well, you put on the fucking paperwork this and it's got to be this, and it cost a whole nother day of work and all fucking kinds of shit. So yeah, they weren't too happy with him.
Did they do your electrical for you?
No,
Okay.
I did that.
Nice.
All right, well, I suppose we can move on to Knockoff Corner.
Yay!
Actually, we got some cool knockoffs this week.
This is the kind of shit I would buy, actually.
Yeah, this is actually kind of cool shit. I don't know what any of it is. Chris,
It's a knockoff Sasquatch Grimlock.
is
It's
it?
all the fucking same thing. It's a fucking like a Godzilla knockoff of the G1 Grimlock mold.
Mecha Godzilla.
Yeah, these are actually pretty common, aren't they?
I'm sure.
They ain't that common. I ain't never seen one before.
I've seen them in the groups and shit for sale from time to time.
I haven't seen this one, though. I've seen other ones, but I've never seen this one. I would buy the hell out of this one.
I can't tell the difference between them, but it looks cool.
Mm.
One of them's
I mean,
got a
it's
giant gold wiener.
Yeah, but I mean, we're talking about something that you have to look at. It's just imagine Mecha Godzilla, like Bug said. There you go.
Imagine
Yes.
G1 Grimlock made in knockoff.
Mhm.
It looks like he turns into a bison in that bottom left picture.
Yeah, I agree
See
with
that?
you. That's kind of crazy though. Like, so they they KO'd the G1 Grimlock and put kind of the outer shell it looks like Mecha Godzilla. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's
Who
kind of
fucking
cool.
thinks of shit like that?
Well, it's almost like a hybrid between Mechagodzilla and Godzilla. It's like cyborg Godzilla.
It's not exactly a hybrid if, Grimlock gets together with fucking Mechagodzilla, the birds and the bees. I don't want to tell you anything out of school, but...
Well, I just meant that there's organic parts on the dinosaur mode.
It protects
Not
them from the
Beast Wars!
radiation.
See, this is the type of KOs that I wish they sold in the pharmacies and shit, like around here. Like, we got the super changing robot, and it's always a fucking KO of like a bullshit movie Optimus or Bumblebee, like it's...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, where's this weird fucking shit like this? Give me something unique.
Yeah, seriously. I dig that. For a fucking being KO, I think, whatever. What's that going to cost you? $8 to $10, if that.
Mm-hmm.
Easy pickup. Why not?
If nothing else, it's something you can run over with the lawnmower.
Yeah, it's true.
Yep.
Oh, I love running shit over with the lawnmower, boy. It's fun.
So that's it for that.
All right, I guess we'll move right along then into my catch of the week. God, I don't know if I want to... Yeah, I suppose. I pissed off the Beast Wars fans again this week. What did I fucking post in there?
Shout out to Stasis Lock.
Yeah, something about how fucking Takara needed to stop fucking making shitty ass Beast Wars figures and focus on G1.
You're wrong.
And, I know I'm wrong. Like, it was a fucking joke, but man, it triggered a whole lot of fucking people. Argued with this guy for an entire day, and he was pissed. And then I started a poll to vote on it, and G1 took it by about 50 votes. So it's a better series. And
I don't think it's a better series storytelling wise, though.
You shut the fuck up, JL.
I love G1, man, but it's episodic for the most part. Season 3 has a little bit of continuity, but Beast Wars is one long story arc. And I think it makes it superior story-wise.
I do agree with that. I do.
And I love G1. I love it. But Beast Wars has a better story.
Yeah, the storytelling was definitely taken to another level with Beast Wars compared to what you got with the original. And
I can agree with that too.
Not to say the original was bad or anything, but there weren't too many interconnected episodes. It was more episodic, like Justin said. So Beast Wars, Beast Wars gave you that overarching story.
It made it a little easier with.
Stupid.
It made it easier with the smaller cast. I mean, they weren't shoehorning a bunch of characters that just show up magically in Season 2 like G1 did.
I think Skids showed up as many times in Beast Wars as he did in G1.
Yeah, right.
Was Skids ever even in an episode of G1?
Yeah.
I think he was in like 3, right?
I fucking don't remember.
I used to love Skids too, and I couldn't remember his ass being in the show.
Me neither.
I loved him because I never had the toy and I always wanted it.
I remember him being in the show, but I honestly could not tell you who voiced whatever few lines he had.
It was Samuel L. Jackson. Just imagine that.
But fishing season starts next week, so be looking forward to some catfish pictures because I'll be off the internet most of the time.
You'll be out there catching a little tiny catfish?
Catching them big old fish, buddy. The shad kill happened this week, so I'm ready to get out there and get them done.
Oh my god, you're such a hillbilly.
Yeah, you are.
Gotta get the boat ready to go, buddy.
Yeah.
Get Bud Cooler ready. Gotta get some Bud Heavy and some fucking weed.
Nobody drinks Budweiser except for you, man. That's just nasty.
Oh, dude, we drink the fuck out of it around here, man. Get some Busch Light.
That's not even an American beer anymore.
You know what Derp drinks? Ice House.
I'd rather drink Ice House than Budweiser.
Fucking that shit is disgusting.
Budweiser is disgusting. I'd rather drink Bud Light than Budweiser. Bud Light tastes better than Budweiser.
The Bud Heavy be letting you know, man. Shit fucks you up.
I drink shit way heavier than Bud Heavy, dude.
Yeah, I know. You drink girl drinks.
No, I buy fucking beers that you can't even classify as beer in my state, dude.
Really?
You have to classify it as a malt liquor because it's above like 10 or 11%.
Yeah, but you're an alcoholic though, so you're into that kind of shit.
I'm not an alcoholic. I'm a booze aficionado.
You're an alcoholic, and that's okay. I'm not here to judge you.
I'm not here to judge you.
Our listeners will.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? But
Alcoholics don't make it to work and work a whole
I'm
shift.
ready to cut the fuck back on Facebook and hit some goddamn rivers and some lakes. Make some
that you're used to.
You know, make some Dub and Derp episodes.
You gonna go out there and just sing Rocky Mountain High up there?
Sometimes, man. Sometimes I just get naked and sit on my boat.
That's gross.
Nah, that's fucking funny because people.
That's not even
like,
swamp ass. That's like swamp whole body.
I don't care. Like,
You're gonna smell like that dude at NJCC.
That's fine. I'll take a shower.
You're gonna have cheese on your dick.
Dude, my car smells like catfish. Like, it stinks like rotten fish.
The DNR ward never catch you when you're naked?
Nah, man, I go out to the boondocks when nobody comes. You know, but I've never gotten boarded by the DNR. Not once.
What the hell is a DNR?
Department of Natural Resources, Ranger Rick.
No, we don't have those here. We
We
got freedom here.
No, you got
North Carolina.
DNR. You're
DNR.
on the ocean.
DNR means a whole different thing in the hospital.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I hope you all have DNRs.
Oh man, I want to be brought back like 100 times.
Yeah, dude, I'm good. Like, please resuscitate me.
Every time you bring me back, I'm gonna give you the finger again, and you're gonna let me go. I'm gonna come right back.
Alrighty, well,
Yeah, I've only been.
on.
I was gonna say I've only been boarded once by the DNR while I was in a boat, and that was on Memorial Day weekend once.
Yeah, but you were smuggling cocaine into the fucking border. You were in one of them little submarines they make. They make little submarines out of the kayaks. They just turn the kayak upside down and put some air in it. Sink it.
You know, they're not really out looking for us too much. They're out looking for the fucking party boaters and the people drinking and shit.
They're looking for something they can make money on by giving tickets out.
Right. Dude, I don't cause no trouble.
Sure you don't.
Well, you know, sometimes I like to shoot stuff. It's legal to shoot stuff, so it's fine. Anyway, let's move on. Bed bugs bargain bin. What you got for us this week, bed bugs?
All right. Well, this week we have another offering from BBTS. For anyone that hasn't been able to get a Masterpiece Hound, I guess you can.
And you still won't.
Yeah.
Well, for $40, this seems to be a somewhat tempting item to settle on. TFC's OS02 Detective.
It's basically a pre-built Gundam.
I heard they're. I would get it, but I heard they're going to reissue Vance Toys Willis sooner than later. So
doesn't this thing break itself in the box?
I think we'll be all right. I'd get a gun dog before I get this motherfucker.
Man, I get a fucking grilled cheese sandwich before I get this motherfucker.
Right? Oh, that sounds good as a motherfucker, boy.
Go make me one.
I'm gonna have a wife make one.
But yeah, I have no intention of buying it at $40 either. But I seen that they were clearing some out, so I thought this would be a good item to throw in here.
If I bought it, would
you don't need
put
to
it on your
justify
shelf?
I do not own one of these, no.
The CFC still in business?
Nope.
Barely.
No, yeah, they're making those fucking Optimus Commando looking things.
What?
You know what I'm talking about. We talked about them.
The Rolling Thunder.
Yeah.
They look
What?
fucking stupid.
Wasn't the Trinity Force stuff theirs too? That
Oh, yeah. I think that's the last thing they put out, though, isn't it?
That's recent. Yeah, that's recent. You know, they just put out the buggy.
I mean, how
I
the
think
mighty...
it looks really cool, but like I hear it's a piece of shit.
It doesn't look like It doesn't look like a masterpiece fucking hound, though. It looks like a really dumb chug hound.
When have any of their combiners look like Masterpiece?
I don't know, but it looks like garbage.
All right. You look.
It's got waffles in the missile.
I think it looks cool though. Actually, to be honest with you, but
I think it looks
I'm
like
not
a
gonna
pile
buy
of.
it,
I think it looks like a
but
pile of baby shit.
I don't even know who the character is, to be honest.
That's Hound, dude. He fought Rumble.
No, the.
Or no.
He's talking about the combiner, right?
The combiner thing, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Trinity
the-
Force. That's Road Caesar.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. So.
He's in a
Master
wild.
Force, right?
He's in a wild, far distant land called Japan, JC. You know, there's other countries besides America.
Fuck
No,
him.
there ain't.
JC, are you calling Japan a shithole?
What? Yeah. Kinda.
You got quiet.
I mean,
he had to
Fuck.
think about it for a second.
That's where all your cool toys come from, JC.
I was sneezing, but yeah, they kind of are a shithole. I would.
Bullshit, dude.
Dude, they fucking, they're leaking radiation into the ocean right now.
Well, yeah.
That's kind of a shithole fucking move, right?
Yeah, it's not the whole place. It's just one part.
It's kind of the ocean kind of affects the entire planet.
Yeah, but we don't care about the ocean. Only you care about the water, JC.
I love the water. The fish
I know
are
you
my
do.
friends.
The fish are your friends?
And my food.
That's not nice. Your friends are your food?
Listen,
Good.
man.
You can eat my dick.
Yeah. Well, speaking of dicks.
Nobody buy this Hound, by the way. Like, nobody.
Yeah,
Let
don't
this thing sit in BBTS's warehouse.
I'll buy it for 20. But if it was $20, I'd buy it.
Same. I'd do it for 20 just as a stand-in until Takara gets one.
I'd buy a poster of this for $20.
Yeah. Can I throw you guys another good deal that I actually saw within the past
Yeah,
couple of days?
please.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
I saw TF Source. I don't usually buy from them, but they had like a sale, daylight savings time. So like you can't have a savings, daylight without the savings. So when I was checking through the inventory of what they had on sale, they actually had a Warbitron Slice Strike, which is their swindle, for $30. That
Hey,
shit
Dad.
is worth it.
God damn it.
Worth it.
Good
Wait,
figure.
what was it?
Slice Strike, which is a Warbitron swindle that they
Oh,
put out.
nice.
$30.
Yeah, that's
Like,
a good
come on.
figure. I have him.
Yeah, that's a fucking steal for that price. So
Yeah, it's a good unit.
Yeah.
Actually, I've got that whole Warbitron set. I think I'm gonna keep that around.
Yeah,
I
I'm going
sold-
to keep mine, too.
I sold it at the last NJCC, not this last one, but the one before from last summer. I sold it, but that's actually for that price. That's a piece that I'll just get just to have that character because it just has so much personality, with the smirk on his face, and it was really well made.
Yes.
All right. Well, I guess we can wrap up Bed Bugs Bargain Bin for the week and move on to my favorite segment, Asshole of the Week. It's
Is it
kind
Trump?
of a broad one. I don't have anybody specific. I don't know who put Chris's name there, but mine this week is going to be sales thread vultures, and they're fucking everywhere, and I feel like they're multiplying. And the worst ones are the fucking assholes who are like, if you post something that you're looking for something, and they get right in your comment section and be like, I need one of them motherfuckers too. Hook me up. I'll pay more than this motherfucker. Y'all are some assholes and you need to stop. It's not okay. You know what I
No,
mean?
it's not.
Or if you got a sales thread and you post some shit for sale and dude posts the shit in the comments that, oh, hey, man, I got one for $5 less. Hit me up.
Yeah, that's a
Shit.
dick move.
That
That's
shit
an
is
asshole.
not cool, man.
Some asshole shit to do.
And I've seen it a lot lately, and like it wasn't as bad, a few months back, even a year ago. Like people used to have some kind of etiquette, but it seems like since Trump got elected, all that shit's gone out the window.
I think it's we have a lot of new fans that don't know the etiquette for this shit,
That could be and somebody needs to school these motherfuckers because it's not okay.
I think we need to take the internet out of your work.
Out of my work,
Yeah.
I got it on my phone, man. I can take it anywhere I want to go. I'm good. Like I can't use the fucking internet at work at for any of this shit.
Well, it's because you're downloading mutilated dicks.
Well, that link that you guys posted in the chat earlier, like since I was on my job's Wi-Fi, it was
click
saying,
it.
"Hey, this was blocked." It said it's blocked.
I didn't even click it, man.
I was like, "Thank God!" I was like, "Thank God." So they have to.
Yeah, you don't want to have our chat open like on some work internet.
Yeah, no shit, dude. Guess who learned to use the Windows and L key combination? I have to lock my shit whenever I walk away from it, so that it doesn't pop anything up.
Yeah.
They posted up a zombie fucking biting off some dude's dick. It was nasty, dude. I don't roll like that.
I love how you both said they, and both of these things I'm responsible for.
It's all your
True.
Yeah, but
I
it
don't
was
know,
a
but
mutilated
that shit's all
penis.
fake. I post real mutilated penises.
Why?
Why not?
Why are you looking at that?
Because I'm fascinated with grotesque injuries. We've been over this.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
It's not so much the injury that fascinates me, it's how they put the shit back together.
Well, then why aren't you transgendered?
Because I'm not.
Because they could cut your wiener off and put it back.
It's fine. I'm married. I need my wiener.
But then you could live the dream that you have.
What dream is that?
You have a mutilated penis too.
It's not my dream to have a mutilated penis. I just find it amazing that people can go through this type of trauma and live.
I find that grotesque.
Sorry, man. My bad. Some of you guys watch porn. I watch fucking injury shit.
That's gross. You need a therapist.
That's how I jerk off to it.
I guess the peener can't be qualified as a vital organ if you could live without it.
Well, they put these motherfuckers back together like a jigsaw puzzle piece.
Oh, God. Yeah.
See, I saw this one where this dude got his dick fucking bit up by a fucking pit bull, man.
Oh, why was his dick near the pit bull, dude?
I don't know, but it was like it was just a regular pit bull attack, but a pit bull doesn't know if it's biting your throat or your fucking dick, But anyway, this fucking thing was shredded. The balls were hanging out.
Come on, man. I can't do this.
He was in at least 3 or 4 pieces, but they put it, the doctors put it back together, and it looked almost normal.
And that's something that shouldn't have been documented.
No, it is. This is good medical science.
No, it's not. That guy should have died. The sentence for that happening to you is death.
Well, hey, man. It is what it is.
If you get your dick mangled by a pit bull, that's a death sentence. Okay?
And that's actually things I can look up on my work computer.
Gross.
I'm just doing some
research.
Doing some research
into the psyche of somebody who has this happen to them. This kind of trauma.
It's kind of like with PTSD or people suffer from mental illness that have gone through those traumatic experiences
of having their dick severed off.
Yeah, PTSD or PP bit off.
And so I will sit there and I will research, what happened, and how they were affected by it and what kind of medications it took to bring them back.
There's support groups or stuff like that?
There is, actually, but, they're few and far between. Most of the time, people that are that sick, they end up in some kind of institution, or need daily therapy.
Do you think a lot of them sever their relationships with their family?
But I know quite a few guys that have actually...
Justin?
I'm getting way too far into this, but I know some guys that have done similar things to their own bodies.
I just want to say, man, you think and look at penises more often than gay people do, dude.
Probably.
For real.
No, I don't look at penises that often.
Your life is like one giant dick theater.
It fucking makes me laugh when I send one of those to somebody and I know that they're like, what the fuck?
Nobody wants to see that ever.
It's shock value, I'll send one to my mom randomly, and she'll be like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, that's horrible, too. Why you send that to your mom, dude? That's terrible.
Because I love her, man. I want her to be happy.
That's not making her happy. Oh my god, dude. Oh, let's move on, man.
Yeah, let's do that.
That's
all
great.
right. All right. Anyway, that was our asshole of the week. Stop fucking doing that shit, y'all, because it's bullshit. You know what I mean? If I see you at TFCon, I'm gonna catch you slipping. I'm gonna bust your ass.
And stop putting your peener near fucking pit bulls.
Be careful around pit bulls. I mean, most of the time they're good dogs, but man, when they can fuck you
they'll
up.
maul a peener.
All right. Anyway, let's move on into our 13 questions for Mr. Jose Diaz.
Uh-oh.
This is a good part.
Are you ready, sir?
I hope so.
Is there anything you want to tell us about any of your projects? I mean, you kind of went over that a little bit at the beginning of the show, but is there anything you want to tell us about yourself or the listeners that they don't already know?
Oh, well, basically, like I said at the top of the show, breaking the mold on Tuesdays and, just trying to grow the realm of collectors brand as a whole. Doing a podcast every week is fun, just like, what we're doing right now, having a good time, hanging out with your buddies. That's the true spirit of like what we're doing here. And if people that watch or listen are entertained, then hey, all the better. I love the community that we're all a part of. Everybody is real cool and chill, very like-minded. Anybody that happens to be the opposite of that usually doesn't last too long.
And hardcore collectors.
Mm-hmm.
God knows, JC. There you go.
But
it's like a pit bull with a ball sack.
Man, But
if it ain't the realm, it ain't shit to me, bud. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck all the other groups. I'm sorry.
I basically just want to shout out the whole community. Like, I love what the realm is all about, and that's why I'm down 100%. And I never expected to be doing a podcast, hosting a podcast, being a guest on other podcasts. But it's a testament to what everything that's been built up to this point, and making friendships. And if it wasn't for the internet and technology and Google Hangouts and Skype, and this wouldn't be possible. Honestly, we would probably never have crossed paths ever. And seeing Justin L and Chris at NJCC, it was cool to be able to chop it up. And that's what it's all about. That's, what we do here. It's all about the community and hanging out and getting together and having a good time. And, doing what you guys do here on the podcast and growing this brand, like we're trying to grow the Realm brand. It's a great thing, you know what I'm saying? And, that's basically it. I'm just all about the community, and I'm very happy to just be a part of this with the Realm and with you guys and with what everybody's doing as far as the whole Cool Table Network and all the affiliates. And it's a good thing, man. It's really a good thing.
Yeah, I mean it's come a long way in the past few years. It really has. But
it's wonderful to think that our mutual hobby of toy collecting is kind of what brought us all together and to be doing all of this. You know what I'm saying? There's other people out there that are just like you. If you don't think they're out there, you might not have that next door neighbor at home right next to you. You know what? Get online. That's the beauty of the internet. And you know what? You're not alone.
Yeah, for the longest time, man, I thought I was I hardly ever meet anybody from where I live. In the groups or anything, because this is fucking Iowa, man. Nobody collects toys here. But, just last weekend, I met Dustin Anderson online, and just last weekend we had a get together up at his place, and it was kind of cool.
That's dope.
That's all because of the the fandom and the groups and shit.
Yep.
But anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. You ready for question number 1?
All right, let's go.
All right, what is your preferred name or handle?
Okay, so really no preference. I go by Harrican BX, all over social media, so Facebook, Instagram. Like I said earlier, I got the most common Spanish name out there, Jose Diaz. So if you try to search Jose Diaz, you're not gonna find me. So I say just search Harrican BX, I'll pop right up. So people that know me, they call me Jose. mostly when I play online, like PS4 and stuff, people call me Hurricane because that's just the handle that they see. So I personally don't have a preference, whatever you want to call me, Jose or Hurricane. It's all good either way.
Where does Hurricane come from? Because I wonder about that.
Oh, okay. So I actually told this story on a Classic Fanatics like maybe a month and a half ago. Hurricane is it's the phonetic spelling of the Japanese kanji for hurricane. So I'm a big like Super Sentai fan, Kamen Rider fan, which is Super Sentai is what people know here as Power Rangers. I'm a big fan of those Japanese special effects shows. So one series was called Hurricaneger, if you spell it here like English, but the way they pronounce it is like they pronounce hurricane as hurricane. You know what I'm saying? And they say it quick, like hurricane. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of dug that series like so much. So I was like, hey, I like that, Hurricane. And then BX is where I live, the Bronx. That's an abbreviation of where I'm from. So I just kind of put it together. And kind of, if you put it together, it means Bronx Hurricane. So
nice.
That's nice as fuck.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right. What year were you born, sir?
Woo, okay, 1980. So
Nice.
I'm currently 37 years old. My birthday's coming up in a few weeks. I'll be 38.
Oh, boy, it's getting rough, isn't it?
Yep, coming April 10th. Yep, nearing the big 4-0, but it's good. Thankful, you know what I'm saying? I still feel, even though I'm 37, I kind of feel like I'm still 27. You know?
Man, a lot of my shit comes in a big 4-0.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is our most important question.
Yeah, it is.
What is your favorite sandwich?
You know what? I'm kind of glad that I got to preview these questions beforehand, so I didn't have to kind of come up off the fly. This one's a hard one because so many great sandwiches out there. I don't know if you guys would consider like a hamburger a sandwich, so it's like, would you consider that? But if I'm gonna go sandwich, I'm at a cross between two of them. So first up, of course, classic chicken sandwich. And I mean by chicken, I mean a chicken cutlet, which is like breaded chicken, deep fried, some oil, some good old fucking oil, and lettuce, tomato, and as a preference, I like to add bacon on that sandwich. So a bacon chicken cutlet on a hero is a favorite of mine. And then, of course, I got to go with the Philly cheesesteak. That's the other one that I was like, which one? I'd have to say maybe for me, the chicken cutlet sandwich wins out because I only have a real, true Philly cheesesteak once a year.
Nice.
Now, do you like sauerkraut?
Honestly, I'm not a big fan, but I've had it. Like if it's on a hot dog, I can eat it.
Nah, it's gross. Throw it all in the trash.
That
was gross.
All right. What is your favorite music, sir?
Music. Okay. You know what? I'm a fan of like all genres of music, but I lean more towards like the rock, like alternative stuff. So I'm a big fan of like Disturbed, System of a Down, Killswitch Engage, Tool. But then, you get some of those other like alternative bands like Three Doors Down or Alter Bridge, Trapped, Rev Theory, like stuff like that. So that's the kind of stuff I prefer listening to. As far as hip hop, like I like more of the old school stuff. So I'm a big fan being, New York City. I love Biggie, Jay-Z, Big Pun, Eminem, real like lyricists like that. A lot of the modern hip hop I just can't stand. A lot of this mumble rap bullshit. As far as lyrics, I feel like it's garbage, but it's like it seems like all you need to do nowadays is have a dope beat and a hook for a song, and that's all you need to fucking make $1 million. So power to those guys, but
man, fuck those guys.
Yeah, whatever. I love the lyricists, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm more a fan of like about, you know. And of course, you know, like R&B, you know, we could go through so many people, you know. Yeah, kind of country, I could probably say is my least favorite genre, but there's songs I've heard country that it's like, oh, I could dig that, you know. Florida Georgia Line or Georgia Florida Line.
Yeah, boy.
Is that really country music though, or is that pop?
It's pop.
Toby
Pop.
Keith, like, stuff like that. Well,
Yeah,
you know,
Achy Breaky
like,
Heart.
yeah, like stuff like that is like I could get down with stuff like that too. But rock alternative is I would say my favorite genre.
Nice. All right, that's good shit.
I'd rather listen to Meat Slicer cut meat than listen to country music.
Shut the fuck up, JL. What got you back into collecting, sir?
Collecting. Okay, so I've always been a collector in some way, some form. But I've always had kind of like levels, you know, highs and lows. So, I would always love to say, hey, I've been collecting since I was a kid, but, you know, we didn't collect as children. We played with toys as children. When I was first able to kind of like buy figures for myself as like a teenager, you know, you get a little bullshit job. I worked in a hobby shop, a comic book shop. So we got comic books and action figures and stuff like that. So, you know, I got, I think the Transformers Generation 2 stuff was the first stuff that I bought that I was like, hey, I'm getting this with my own money, like my own allowance and what I earned from work. And, you know, and then you kind of fall out of it. You know, you get older, you know, you start getting introduced to marijuana and alcohol, girls and all this other shit. And then toys don't mean shit to you anymore. And, or not as much, you know, because I always kind of still collected, just not as much. And then, you know, you become an adult, real life takes over, you know, and you start doing things. So as far as my current run, I was out of the game for like a few years, and then Instagram, I start seeing like pictures of, I kind of want to say the Fans Project, Stunticons, I think was the first third party stuff that I started noticing. And I'm like, hey, like, this is stuff that I recognize. Like, these are the Stunticons, but I've never seen these figures before. And they're super articulated and they look good. And, you know, so I kind of started digging into the hashtags and all that stuff. And so once I discovered that and started seeing pictures and I saw how much they were, I'm like, oh, fuck, $60. This thing is fucking 5 inches tall. Like, what the fuck? No way. You know? Like, what the fuck? Like, I can't do that. But then when you actually take the plunge and then you get that stuff in hand, you kind of understand what you're paying for. And, you know, and we're adults. It's the adult collector's item, and it's that premium price point. So I understood kind of like what the game was about at that point. And that was basically it from there. And you know what, like, I had to kind of get my girl on board because, you know, she lives here with me, but you know, when she moved in and stuff like that, I didn't have any figures in this apartment. Like, all that stuff is back in my mom's house. You know, she kind of like had no clue. And so it's the pictures on Instagram that got me in. But it was also like when I started seeing that stuff, I was like, hey, babe, like, would you mind if I kind of like, you know, cop this? And, you know, like I was a collector. Like, she knew I was a geek and stuff into all this nerd shit. So she was like, yeah, no problem. And, you know, little did she know what the fuck she got herself into when she gave me permission.
Right.
No shit.
Yeah, most guys sit their chicks down, like, and say, you know, try and talk them into anal or something like that. You're like, you know, can we talk about something? And then you pull out a fucking MP10. You're like, what do you think about this?
Have you heard the good news? They make Transformer Masterpiece figures.
Like, if you like this, I got about 50 more back at my mom's.
Seriously, man, like she had no clue. But you know what? Like, she's not really into all this stuff, but she knows it makes me happy, so she supports it. And that's basically it. It's been nonstop since then. I want to say that was probably maybe like 2012, 2013. And you know, look, we're in 2018, so full steam ahead.
All right. What do we got for the next one? What scale do you collect, sir?
I'm into all types, actually. I know like it's the end thing maybe now still nowadays to do the masterpiece, but you know what? I still kind of liked the Hasbro mainline stuff, even though I'm at that point where I'm like I'm fed up and I kind of just want to give it up just because of all the shortcuts that they've taken compared to 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. But I still like it because it's it's still a relatively cheap figure that I could kind of like fuck around with and enjoy, and I don't have to worry about breaking. And I'm still getting G1 iterations of characters that who would have thought we'd still be getting that 30 years later.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, and they're finally giving us the goddamn fembots.
yes. Look at that. In 2018, like who would have ever thought we'd be getting these characters from 1985 cartoon, So I'm thankful, despite the shortcuts taken, it's still kind of nice. I like, even though they've taken the shortcuts, it's still kind of nice just to have a simple kind of transform and fuck with back and forth, and you don't have to worry about breaking. And the third party stuff, I'm into the masterpiece, but I'm not a slave that I feel like I have to get every single character from every single season. I'm gonna get the bots that I like, that I feel like I have a connection with from the episodes that I remember. And since I don't have the liberty to display a lot of that stuff, that's what also kind of helps to keep me in check with as far as like my purchases. But I'm all over the place, like as far as scale. So I don't really have a preference. The masterpiece scale is nice, but I like the chug stuff too. But as far as like maybe overall scale, I think I like that Voyager 6-7 inch scale, like as that's my sweet spot as far as like Transformers.
Right, that's fucking tight shit. Man, I love that shit too. But do you have any Focus collection or non-TF collections?
Oh yeah, man, definitely. Like we always speak on the podcast about like rabbit holes that we jump into. So, but Transformers is my first love. But I got into SH Figure Arts again because, as I said earlier, I'm a fan of like Kamen Rider and Super Sentai, and that's where SH Figure Arts started with the Kamen Rider line. I used to watch a lot of those shows in like the early to mid 2000s, and so getting those figures, the articulation, and a relatively, kind of like a higher price point that I was comfortable paying, but I knew I was getting quality for the money, so I really didn't mind. So I got into that, and then for a time, because of the figure photography and the stuff that I saw on Instagram, I got into Marvel Legends for a while. Thank God I kind of got out of that, because even though I love comic books, DC, Marvel, Independence, I kind of have come to like a realization that I don't need action figures of those characters. Like, I could get like a couple that I really love, like characters like the Flash or Superman. Like I'm a DC guy. So I could be okay with just kind of getting a couple of characters that I really love and not have to go all in on a certain line when it comes to Marvel or DC. Transformers are the figures that I find myself enjoying the most. So, when you don't have all that extra income to buy this, buy that, or buy whatever you want, I'm going to focus my collection on what I enjoy the most, which is Transformers. But Marvel Legends, Play Arts Kai, SH Figure Arts, there's so much other shit like Ninja Turtles, so many properties that I'm sure we all fucking know and love. So I've dipped and dabbed, but currently I'm gonna just keep my focus on Transformers, and that's mainline and third party stuff.
All right, that sounds cool. TKO or not TKO?
Oof, the hot button question. Well,
yeah.
I know KOs give you dick cancer. You know what I'm saying? Those dirty KOs. But you know what? I'm a firm believer. You know what? Most of us, all of us, we live in the USA. Freedom. That's what it's all supposed to be about. So buy what you want, love what you want. If it's your choice to buy KOs, do it. Personally, I've done it. You know what I'm saying? But I don't do it like I pick up KOs as far as like, hey, like this piece looks interesting, I'm gonna buy it. I'm not the type of consumer where I'm taking that attitude that I'm gonna wait for the KO. Like that's not me. You know what I'm saying? I love to support the official product. I love to support these third-party companies that are putting out a good product. I feel like if you're the type of collector that takes that wait for the KO mentality, like you're kind of doing the whole hobby a disservice as a whole. But if you're the type that buys the official stuff, whether it's third party or official Hasbro Takara, and you kind of dip and dab and buy a KO here and there as far as curiosity to check it out, it's a piece that the official companies haven't put out. Like let's say that scaled down MP10 Voyager, you know, like hey, that's not a piece that you can get anywhere else. Hasbro didn't put that out. A third party company hasn't put that out. Is it a KO? Yes. But is it something that might be worth checking out? Yes. I bought it. I love it. You know, the fucking a Voyager size MP10. It's fucking great. A piece like the Wei Zhang Megatron. Can you consider it KO? No. It's an original piece from a company that's known for doing KOs. I say buy what you want, and if you enjoy it, you win, and that's it.
Good answer. What movie makes you cry?
Oh, this was hard, man. We're all guys. It's kind of like tough to admit, these the tearjerker movies. Honestly, I had a tough time kind of thinking about it. So I remember back in the day, when did Terminator 2 come out? Was it 1992?
Yeah.
It was around there, yeah.
Somewhere around there. So I was probably about 12 years old. That movie, I felt like did such a good job with making you care about Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator character that at the end of that movie, tell me, if you watch that movie at the end when he was getting lowered into the lava and then he gives the thumbs up at the end, tell me you didn't drop a tear for that. Come on. Come on, guys. So.
It was sad.
It's possible.
I don't know if you remember that. I remember. I was like, man, I'm a kid, so of course, you're a kid. You watch that, it's like, whatever. You're gonna get emotional. I got emotional when Optimus Prime died. I'm sure we probably all did.
I still do. What are you talking about?
As far as a recent movie, I'm into action adventure mostly, a bunch of different genres, but I remember seeing a movie called, I think it's called The Fault in Our Stars. And
oh yeah,
if you've seen it, I'm not going to go into it, but it's kind of about people that have these terminal kind of conditions and basically how they're living out the rest of their lives and stuff like that. And it was one of those movies that towards the end, you definitely shed a tear with the story that they gave you, in that hour and a half and stuff like that. So that was one that kind of caught me. So I recommend that everybody that's watching or listening, watch that movie, and I dare you to tell me you didn't fucking cry at the end.
All right, I'll give it a shot. I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's called The Fault in Our Stars. I believe that's the name.
I'm sure my wife's got it somewhere.
Is that the Stephen Hawking movie?
No.
No?
Messed up, man.
Which? Oh, is it the little cancer girl then?
Yeah, the cancer girl. She had issues breathing or something like that, and then her guy that had he had a condition too. It was good. It was good.
Yeah, that's all right.
Willem Dafoe was in it. He's the only notable actor I could probably call out for that film. But it was good.
All right. Have you ever done anything untoward for your toy collection? I should say.
I don't think so. Nothing that I could say.
Ever beat some kid's ass, take his money, and buy a toy with it?
Nah, nothing like that. I maybe the hardest thing I could probably say I did was maybe sniping somebody last minute on eBay for like a toy purchase or something like that. I don't know
Oh
if that.
fuck! I did that during the show.
Yeah, let me taste your tears, boy.
I don't know if that could be considered like untoward. I'll share a recent story though. This last NJCC, like the Play Arts Kai stuff, I brought a lot of import figures to sell. But some of the Play Arts Kai stuff that I brought, some of it was purchased at a New York Comic Con. I want to say for maybe 2018, and they were purchases that me and my girlfriend made together and stuff. And even though she's not into the hobby, it was like a lot of like the female characters, like Supergirl, Catwoman, Harley Quinn.
Mm-hmm.
And, we spent a good amount of money that day, but we had fun. We had, good memories. But, the stuff has been in the closet for years. She hasn't looked at it, so I kind of brought it to the show. I sold all of it. And then she told me she looked in the closet and didn't see it. And she was like, hey, you took that stuff? And I was like, yeah, like I took it. And I was like, I sold it. And I didn't think it was something she would get upset about, but she did.
Oh.
And, we had a conversation like about it and stuff. And I'm like, hey, like, like you're not into this stuff. Like, do you even know what those figures were or what I sold or whatever? And she was like, hey, that's not the point. It was the memories, that I had of that show and what we made. And you could have at least like, me about it, before you did that.
Yeah, I fucked up.
Fucking chicks.
You should have included me as being the asshole of the week after, having a conversation.
Pretty bad.
Sure.
And so, we're good. We're past it, what I'm saying, stuff like that. But, I felt like a dick, so, yeah.
It happens. All right.
Jose, we're never going to get those memories back.
Oh, no, my wife. I just went through that with my wife for that red Grimlock that I got rid of. God,
I can't believe you got rid of that, man.
She was so mad. Oh, well. She probably forgot about it by now.
Who'd you sell it
to? Adam.
Oh.
He was at the dinner, so it kind of counts, right?
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? He's just in the family. All right. Tits, ass, legs, face, or other?
Ooh, it's going to have to be a combination. So, you know what? Tits, no big deal. I'm not much of a titty man, but if you got them, I consider that a bonus. Ass, I'm definitely ass man. Legs are nice, what I'm saying? Because I'm the type of guy, like, you got to have, like, that kind of Coke bottle shape, Don't come at me being a round roly-poly, and I'm sorry, that's horrible to say. And I'm a foot guy, too. I got, like, a foot fetish and stuff like that. So, nice
feet.
And a pretty face.
It takes all kinds, right?
I don't do no.
As a foot fetish person, I'm not a foot fetish person, but I've seen a lot of photos. Trust me.
Yeah, I bet you have.
But the top of a woman's foot, how it sometimes arches when it goes into a shoe. Is there a name for that in the fetish community?
Not that I know of, but just the fact if it's something that you're noticing and that you like, then you got a low key foot fetish right there.
Yeah, it's called a fagel.
All right, I get away from this.
Wow. All right.
I'll stay on the top of the foot. Away from the
dig,
stinky.
Did you ever dig, like, back in the day when you were in school and you saw your teacher kind of, like, hanging her shoe, like, off her, like, toes and stuff like that, like, under the desk? Like, I don't know. Like, that's just...
Why was she under the desk?
Kind of got me.
Well, since I went to a Catholic school and most of my teachers were either nuns or old,
yeah. Okay.
Actually, we finally got a hot teacher in 8th grade, and, we're all fucking 12 and 13,
You're
fucking
ready.
popping boners.
Yep, you're ready. Hormones fucking running wild at that age.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty.
What was his name, Chris?
Mr. Johnson.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. Continuing. Question 12. What's a weird thing about you? Idiosyncrasies, phobias, etc.
Weird things. I don't know. That's tough because you got to kind of like look back like into yourself. I I don't know. Maybe I kind of want to say like I have like low level like OCD, so I'm not the type of person that like if you're looking in the cupboard, like all the canned goods have to have the label facing forward, like nothing like that. But like if I'm in the kitchen cooking, like I don't want anybody else in the kitchen with me. Like saying like, give me my space, leave me alone. I'm cooking, let me do my thing. At work, I kind of have to be organized as well. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, my work is crazy. I work in a hospital, kind of things come out of nowhere. So I'm able to adapt and do what I have to do. But when I'm able to kind of be left alone and be in my office, like I like to kind of keep my door closed, my office door closed, put on a podcast or listen to some music and just kind of get my work done, like, and leave me the fuck alone. Don't bother me, So, so I guess it's that. As far as anything else, I'm not too sure. I guess it would have to be other people that have to tell me. I know I'm long-winded. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I could fucking talk a lot, keep rambling and shit like that. So,
and you like
right.
feet. And you like,
you like feet.
Yeah, that's kind of
right.
You know what though? Like I'm gonna tell you guys like about that. It's something. It's kind of like it's weird when you hear like when some people have like those innate like aspects or traits or something like that. Like I had that thing with me like even before I knew what sex was, before I knew what any of that shit was. You know what I'm saying? Like I kind of remember back in the day. I'm the youngest of three, so I have a sister that's 3 years older, and then I have a sister that's 5 years older. So of course they have girlfriends and stuff like that. So back in the day when they used to have their girlfriends come over to the house and they used to do their sleepovers and stuff, I'm probably 7, 8 years old, 9 years old, 10 years old. Again, somewhat oblivious to sex and shit like that. And they would come over and hang out, and when they'd all be in the bed and chilling, like I would be at their feet, kind of like tickling them and playing with them. and I had no clue what like sex was, so it's something that's kind of been with me since like way back in the day. Like, so I don't know, I was born with it, I guess.
So at the next TFCon, man, lace them sneakers tight, boy.
Well, some of you guys, it was criminal with this ROC wellness and weight loss challenge that we had going on. I'm like,
oh my god, yeah.
I'm sure you noticed that I had proper etiquette and I wore socks when I got on that scale. Some of you guys just didn't give fucking not one single fuck.
Oh yeah, but I hope you enjoyed my fucking Frito fucking toenails.
All right.
I did not, sir. I'm sorry.
Way to kill it.
I'll take some high res ones next weekend.
Don't torture me.
Now that's all I'm going to be thinking about when I do that, man.
Are you still in that, JL?
Yeah, I'm still in it, man.
How many pounds you down?
I'm still only down 10.
Well, fuck it, it's still 10 pounds, right?
I'm gonna take some real nice feet pictures next weekend.
Attaboy. Fuck it, right?
I'm gonna paint
all right.
toenails.
No, then you're gonna lose because everybody's gonna fucking throw up and lose more weight.
Oh no.
All right, let's finish this up. What is your go-to sex position?
You know what? Just off the top of the dome, I always have to say doggy style.
That's everybody's
pounding it.
Yep.
That's what's up. All right. Well, that was 13 questions with Mr. Jose Diaz.
Yay.
Diaz. Fuck, I said it wrong.
Days. Let's call him Days.
I'm trying, man. I'm working on it. Okay, well, let's get into our TKO girls for the week. And I don't know who this fat girl belongs to, but whoever wants to...
That's my pick.
That's a thick one.
Yeah. She's a big girl, boy.
Come on,
what are you gonna do with all that?
Are you telling me? Nah, you guys can't fucking tell me that if that girl was in front of you right now, that you wouldn't be putting the business on that.
That bitch would swallow me.
I will fuck the shit out of that.
Thank you.
I'm not allowed to talk like that.
Chris is like 120 pounds, dude. That girl would fucking destroy him.
JL, just Just say yes.
Yeah, I probably would. Yeah.
Down. Of course you would. Don't say probably. Of course.
I would.
Of course you would.
I would like before I got married.
Listen, I know. We all got significant others. I gotta try to keep my voice down. She's sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
And the next
I think I went to school with her. Is that my phone number on her thigh?
But come on, man. Like, to me, like, I've always kind of preferred girls like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, I always called what the mainstream calls a supermodel, which is like a rail ass skinny chick. Like, I'm not
hungry.
into that. Like, yeah, eat a cheeseburger, eat a fucking chicken sandwich with bacon on it, or a Philly cheesesteak. You know what I'm saying? Like, that to me is not attractive. And it's not that they're not pretty or anything like that, but it's like, hey, like, they're like skin and bones. Like, hell no. Like, a woman like that, to me, that's healthy. It's a fit kind of thick, and it's like, hey, trust me, like, you see, when you're hitting that from the back, you're gonna be having a good time. Trust me.
I mean, that second picture, she actually has a 6-pack in that big, thick midsection.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
exactly. Fit thick. That's kind of what they call it. Fit thick.
That's one of the ones that you don't get them; they get you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah,
You ain't got a choice. If she wants them, you ain't gonna stop her.
Yeah, buddy.
I mean, she gonna fucking hold you down and fucking rape you.
Dude, that first picture looks like she's on the subway, and she's in some kind of fucking swimsuit, lingerie thing. I don't know what the fuck it is, because you can only see a little bit of it.
Yeah.
But she got her finger towards her face, towards her lip, like, I'm gonna get me some of that, boy.
Yep. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but that's the chick from the Mobile Strike commercials that they were kind of showing with the big girls and stuff, Fucking crazy. I think I saw those on my Facebook feed for like a few months.
Nice. She saved all those pictures, huh?
Actually, like when Chris, like in the chat earlier, was like, hey, pick out some girls from here or whatever, and I'm like, the first thing I did, I went to Google and I just put plus size models.
Nice.
I saw her and I'm like, yes, perfect.
Nice. All right. Who is this next picture? It looks like a cone full of garbage.
Oh, I picked this one.
Goodness. Oh, that looks so
What
good.
the fuck is that, dude?
I just seen this show up in my newsfeed, and it's like, oh, that looks good. So basically,
Does it?
somebody's taking ice cream cones, and instead of putting ice cream in them, they're making basically walking chicken and waffles.
Chicken and waffle cones.
God damn, that looks nasty.
That looks good, dude. I'll eat the fuck out of that.
That's heaven. Yep. I could personally attest to that. My first experience with chicken and waffles was when I went on vacation back in 2009. I got to visit LA with my brother, and they had a spot out there that I guess is a popular spot called Roscoe's, and I'm like, chicken and waffles. It's like, is that a thing? Like, really? And when you try it, it's like, yeah, this is good. And I'm not even a waffle guy. I've never had it like that though, where it's kind of like an ice cream cone. Like, that shit to me looks like heaven.
Yeah, it looks good, man.
I want to try it now. It looks really good.
I want to hook bed bugs up with that first chick and have them go out for these things.
That's real.
Can I tag along? I don't mind being the third wheel on that. Right?
Well, there is 3 cones there.
You guys need 2 fucking dudes to fill that first chick up.
DP, baby, DP.
Like, she ain't stopping, you know what I mean? Like,
I'll take her back door if you ain't willing.
Oh boy.
yeah. All right.
Checking out, man.
Moving on. Looks like a junior in high school.
It looks like a porn star. Let me guess
Must
who
be
this
Chris's.
Whose pick was
Yep. These are both mine. I couldn't choose between them because they came from the same set that I posted, and this one girl just looks like All American Beauty, and the next one looks like American Whore.
It's like
Trailer park
jailbait.
trash.
They look like American jailbait to me.
Get the fuck out of here. They're all adults.
Oh man, this type of bitch that'll like fucking call the cops on you and say you hit her but you didn't.
Well, I kind of got to give cool points to that second one right there, just because she got a tattoo of an Autobot symbol between her tits. Like, who does that?
Well, that's a
Oh
different
no,
one,
that's
though.
mine.
Oh,
That's mine.
That's not mine. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine. Oh, so we'll move on to mine. This bitch is. I put this fucking girl in here as a joke because she got a fucking Autobot symbol. And she's pretty cute. I mean, she's a cute younger girl, little blonde. But she was. This
Are you
picture was in
colorblind? That's not blonde.
I can't fucking tell. Man. I
That
thought
looks
she was
ginger.
wearing a hat.
That's
Red.
ginger.
That's like
It's
hella
like
red.
she's like one of those chicks with like hat because there's some blonde hair there.
I ain't never been in like the hair dye aisle with my wife and seen dog dick red. That's what.
Anyway,
Oh, Dick Red.
so this chick has a fucking Autobot symbol in between her tits that comes out onto the sides of her titties.
Yo, I will
And,
bet you $100 that she likes James Roberts.
I don't give
Hot.
a fuck. All that I'm saying is, man, after this bitch pops out 2 kids and is about 35 years old,
It's gonna be
that
the
Autobot
Decepticon
symbol is
logo.
gonna look fucked up.
It's gonna look like Droopy Dog.
God damn. The titties are gonna, all titties sag with age. Like, them motherfuckers are not gonna look pretty when that shit gets older.
Gonna be
Autobots, transform and roll
But
out.
as she is right now, I'd hit it. You know,
gonna be asking
fuck
Vector Prime why the long face here soon.
Oh man.
right? But it'll be all fine, like in the middle of her chest. But then it's just the sides of it are just gonna fucking droop now and look all stupid.
You realize that all week you've been talking shit about this. You could have photoshopped that.
No, it wasn't me. And I just posted it yesterday in the chat.
It seems like it was
But
longer
there-
than that.
But if you guys want to see some fucked up Transformers tattoos on some bitches, check out Transformers Inc. Facebook page.
I used to be in there. I think I dropped out of it.
Yeah, it's
Oh, I
fucking.
gotta look at this.
It's not a group. It's just a page. You check it out, like it, and it's pretty cool. There's even a bitch in there with a fucking Decepticon logo tramp stamp.
Oh,
How many tissues am I gonna need?
Oh, it's
A whole
mostly
roll.
dudes, and there's some great.
How many tissues am I gonna need?
I don't know, 4, 13. I don't fucking know. But there's some good tats in there, but there's also some really bad ones in there. There's fucking.
I love seeing
hilarious.
really bad tattoos. It makes me
I
laugh.
got a really bad one right now on my arm that I need fixed, but
Which one?
my catfish tat.
I thought you got that touched up.
Dude, we're waiting on it to heal a little bit longer because, man, it's got fucked up.
Oh
So,
man.
I'm still waiting on the guy to fucking... And I might even hire somebody else to do it. Like, I don't know if I trust him. Because he fixed the one on my wrist, and it looks fine, but the one on the top of my arm, it just needs some work on it.
Was it the one on your wrist that says DNR?
No, I got the semicolon on my wrist, and it looks good now.
Do you have a prolapse colon on your ass?
I don't, sir. Thanks. Fucking dick. And this must be JL's pick of the week, and it looks like some really fucking cheesy bacon stuff.
No, that is Eggs Benedict. That's hollandaise sauce.
Ugh.
It's a sauce made out of egg yolks and seasoning, and it's very delicious.
Just tell me that it's cheese so I feel better.
No, it tastes better than cheese. Like honestly, if you've ever had
What
it,
really tastes better than cheese?
egg yolk made into a sauce.
I don't think so.
That one's got real bacon on it, regular bacon. Usually it has Canadian bacon on it, which is like a ham. Truth be told, I only picked this picture because it has regular American bacon in it. That sauce is way too neon. Usually,
Yeah, I was gonna say, it looks like it's from fucking Fukushima chickens.
yeah. That sauce is not usually that color, but that bacon is real. Look at that bacon.
Yeah, that bacon looks good.
That's what I had for breakfast, but that is not the one I ate for breakfast. But I went to a...
Dude, what
Huh?
do you think they put in that to fucking make that fucking bright?
I think that it has like a photo filter on it or something.
Oh, okay.
I don't think that's natural colors.
Alright.
But Eggs Benedict is an English muffin with pork, usually Canadian bacon, a poached egg. I like mine poached hard so that the yolk doesn't thin the sauce out, and a hollandaise sauce, which is basically egg yolk mayonnaise. And it's delicious. and you should eat it. And I want that right now.
Alrighty. Well, that's
I'm
good
hungry.
stuff. We are going to move on into our newest segment that we don't really have a name for. What
Man,
did you call it earlier?
Who added all these questions while we were not paying attention?
I think it was Tyler. I'm not reading them.
Okay.
What were you calling the new segment, Jo?
I think
Quint.
Some dumb shit.
Quint
Anyway,
reviews.
we're gonna put random. We got a whole bunch of segment ideas, and we're just gonna put random ones in shows. And tonight we're gonna do what is like basically a question game. And I need each cast member. Actually, I'm just gonna number you. JL, you're 1. Chris,
Number 1,
you're
boy.
2. Jose, you are 3. Bedbugs, you are 4. And I'm going to pick 2 of you guys. I'm going to use a randomizer and pick 2 numbers. And then you guys each have to ask a personal question to the other one.
What?
Yeah,
He's
seriously.
Like, what?
Personal question.
It's a personal question. I should have put the rules in the fucking thing.
Don't you think the guest should have to do it no matter what?
No. It's a randomizer. All right, we have number 3.
Oh boy.
So, and we've got number 1.
Oh boy.
Chris and Jose, you guys face off.
I thought I was number 1.
I was 2.
How fucked up are you, JC?
Lay off the bud.
I was number 1.
Up since 5 a.m. Kiss my ass.
I'm number 1 and Jose's number 3. So what's the deal?
You guys have to ask each other a personal question.
A really personal question?
Doesn't matter. It's Chris' segment, man. I don't know the rules.
It's just loose. Ask something that, hey, I don't know how long you guys have known each other. Maybe there's something you've always wanted to ask of the other person.
Well, Jose goes first because he got called first.
Or you just ask a random question.
Yeah. Let me ask. If it doesn't have to be too personal, I guess whatever. Let me see. So, what's your favorite movie genre?
Probably would be anything robots in action. RoboCop, Robot Jocks, Pacific Rim, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. All right. I'm like-minded myself. So, yeah, action adventure type shit. Violent. It's funny, like I don't know how to kind of like classify like those movies and stuff like that, but yeah.
Scat or snuff porn.
You saw that Disvid fucking link I sent you out earlier. That's where you can find that shit. Ugh. Shit, literally.
All right, so I guess what is something that you like to watch or do that you feel like you should be really embarrassed about? That's not feet.
Watch or do that I should be embarrassed about.
That's the spirit of this segment.
Wow. Okay. Watch or do. Like I don't know, because I don't know if you guys could say like, like watching some of this nerd shit that we watch, like. If we would show that, let's say, to like a coworker or something like that, like would they be able to understand, like, the stuff that we're into? Like, I don't know, so I don't know if that could be considered like embarrassing.
I mean, would you show it to a coworker?
I mean, I don't think like, if was into like cartoons or whatever, like I don't think it's like bad, like anime or whatever, but in the environment that I work in, like people are definitely like not into that. So I could definitely be seen as like a weirdo. Like some people know that I am into it, but it's not like something that's known like across the board at work. Like, it's just very professional and, so if they knew that about me, they'd probably be like, oh, okay. I wouldn't have figured that, Yeah.
All right. Well, that's good answers. Thank you guys for playing. What is all this nonsense on the All right. Should we skip all this shit?
What are you talking about?
These questions, like, I don't know where they came from. No, I'll just read one. I'll just read the first one.
Yeah, of course you'll read the first one, JC.
Because it makes me laugh. Why is the Hardcore Collectors group turning into like a coming out group for collecting Rainbow Bright, Care Bears, and My Little Ponies, etc.? I don't know, Tyler. It is what it is.
Why don't you go ask them yourself?
Maybe they feel really safe there. It's like a safe space.
I think he got kicked out. And actually, hey, fuck, while we're on the subject of the Hardcore Collectors, I give them a whole lot of shit all the time, but one of their members' house is burnt down over the week, and they did a really, really cool thing, and the group pulled together, raised $1,000, and put it in this guy's PayPal. Shout out to those guys for doing that shit.
Okay,
that was really cool.
Yeah,
good on you.
I even pitched in a little bit. That was pretty cool.
So, you know,
yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I give them shit, and we all, you know, it's just kind of my thing. That's what we do. But I got much respect for those guys for doing that.
Okay. Real quick before we move on, though, give me like a slight bit of background, because just with everything going on, like, you know, I'm not up to date as far as like what's going on in most of the groups like outside of the realm. So I noticed the Hardcore Collectors group, and I know it's and all that and stuff like that, but kind of like, what's the gist of what's going on with the Hardcore Collectors that kind of spawned that parody group?
It all started with them, with the fucking toy sex pics. And,
okay.
I got yelled at one day by the admin for telling somebody that was fucking stupid. And, then I got in a big fight with Creech over some dumb shit. And the group has really just turned into it's getting better. I'll tell you that. But, like, you know, like, I don't think, you know, that I just don't get along with them. You know, it's just fucking, it's not a cool group for me. It's not a good community. They let anybody in there, and it's just a bunch of degenerate fucks most of the time.
Okay. A free-for-all.
You know? Okay. Most of them, some of them are cool, you know, but it's, I don't know, man. Ever since the admins kind of abandoned the group, it turned into some fucked up shit. Like, you know, I don't want to see toy pictures of a toy Thor eating fucking RC's pussy.
Oh God.
Okay.
Like why do you need to have that in your group?
I could understand that for sure.
So, and then we, like, you know,
I want to ask
start
that
joking around about it, and then
I want to ask that 13 questions.
And we kind of, I came up with the Hardcore Collectors. And, and then there was another thing. They kicked me out of the group because they said I was scalping shit when I had shit like $5 over retail. Threw a fit, called me every fucking name in the book, and then kicked me out of the group.
Yeah, but in their defense, you were selling sauces from Popeyes, and they're free.
Oh, I was not. But, you know, it's shit like that. Like, why do you can sit there and personally attack somebody for selling something $5 over retail, call them every name in the book. But, like, when I come out and say, you know, hey, I don't think these sex pics are very cool, you know, and I probably use some little harsher language than that.
I bet.
You think?
You know, I get attacked for that, too. So it's like nothing you could do in there was cool with them. You know, it's either you fall in line there or you get the fuck out. And, you know, I'm not about that life.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just a good time, really. You know, like, I'm the kind of guy I like to have I like to have a rivalry going with somebody. Yeah. Like, you know, it just comes from that fucking street lifestyle that I came from. You know, there's always some fucking enemy. So I had to create one. So I created them. But anyway, that's, you know, shout out to those dudes. I'm not reading the rest of these stupid questions because they're dumb. But we will get into our discussion. Let's get into our real discussion about We Jank Omega Supreme.
Oh, I thought it was why is catfish so dumb.
No, and how do we feel about them?
Hold up. Stop. I got some breaking news.
Oh, God.
Several media sources are reporting that the official closing date for all Toys R Us's will be May 14th.
Oh.
Sad.
Okay.
So I got like a couple of months to not see anything new on those shelves. Nice.
I just don't even want to fucking... That shit has been beaten to death over the last 2 weeks, and I don't have any more to say about it. You know?
It's just nice to have an actual date now, knowing when they'll all be gone.
Yeah. I already went and said my goodbyes, and I didn't find shit I wanted.
I spent all my gift cards as soon as the bankruptcy was announced.
Right?
I'm out, bitch!
I went to the one in South Philly yesterday. And, of course, they had they had about 15 Power of the Prime Starscreams.
Nice. Actually...
So, I'll be going back there closer to closing date to get those for $1.50 each.
Nice.
They'll be gone.
I'll take one for $1.50.
So you can paint up a Seeker army.
Hey, do they have any Masterpiece Bumblebees left? I need a couple more.
No.
I'm trying to make a whole deck of cards out of them.
Anyway, continue on to the discussion.
Okay. So, how do we feel about We Jank raising the price on their Omega Supreme after they've taken pre-order money for a price that was already set at $99?
I think it's funny as shit. Wait for the knockoff, motherfucker.
What if Fans Toys did this to you?
I'd be very upset with them.
Okay. I'm just making sure. Because it is kind of a fucked up move, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it is. It's like everybody's got the Fans Toys, and oh boy, DX9 is cheaper. I'm gonna get the DX9. Oh, wait a minute, I can get that same experience for $100? No, you can't, motherfucker. $239.
But here's the deal, that thing, man, the finished one looks pretty fucking cool for what it is. I mean, it lights up, and it's got a voice chip. And
That's great, but I was promised knockoff shampoo plastic for $100.
yeah, but it's not gonna be that, you know?
I'm disappointed.
All right. Well, you're the one that wanted to talk about this, so preach on, brother.
I wanted to play with it in the bathtub for $100, but I can't because now it's $239.
Yeah, I thought that that price, finding out what it actually was disappointing, because it was like, hey, like if you were gonna get basically all those preview pics that you saw, and it's like, hey, if that's $100, like okay, like fuck it. Why not? Why not just throw down at 100? But $239, now you're putting it in that same realm of the DX9, and I'm like, are you gonna spend the money on the Wei Zhang when you could get the DX9 for maybe a little bit more or within that same range? Like, no fucking way, I'm gonna buy the Wei Zhang.
What's the Fans Toys is like barely $100 more.
Yeah, like, so why not just save a little bit more and get the better product? You know?
I just want the little scientist guy. That's all I want from that set.
Yep.
But this begs the question, though. Like, you know, people have put money on this. They've pre-ordered it based on the price that was announced at places that you can't cancel a pre-order. You know, do you think other companies could potentially follow suit with this? And, you know, maybe raise the price on us on something we really want?
It makes me happy just to see those cheap asses suffer.
Yeah, but it's like...
The solution is don't pre-order anything.
I agree with that.
That would be the alternative if they were going to start demanding cash up front or whatever. People just wouldn't pre-order and just roll the dice as far as getting stuff when it's released.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, some places don't make you pay up front, but they also don't let you cancel a pre-order. You know?
So that's almost just as fucking bad as paying up front if they don't let you cancel.
And I do it quite often. You know, I like to pre-order from Chosen Prime, and I know they don't really let you cancel pre-orders. You know, I'm sure if, you know, you message Brandon and told him, you know, you have an issue, he'd probably let you out of one. But, you know, I don't like to do that because I'm a man. If I put my fucking name on something, you know, that I'm going to buy it, I'm going to fucking buy it, you know.
No, like I get that.
I rub my balls on his mind.
I get that. Like, I could understand that for sure, but sometimes you change your mind. You know, like, you might be. I always say, like, sometimes you catch the fever. You might be in on something, a certain line or whatever. You jump in a rabbit hole, but then you kind of realize, like, you know what, this is not for me. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you need to cancel.
I bet a whole lot of people had that feeling after the fucking price was announced for the Wei-Jang Omega.
And I would feel bad for the retailer too if they've ordered a bunch of these based on a pre-order count and then boom, 10, 15 people cancel on them. That's kind of fucked up, you know?
No, it definitely is, and that's why I understand why certain websites require that you pay ahead. That way they don't get fucked in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it.
So basically, fuck Jank for fucking this shit in the first place.
It wasn't people can say what they want, but it was inferred when this came out that it was going to be like around $100 to $130.
Yes, it was heavily inferred.
Yeah, that's the only reason anybody waited for that shit. Nobody waited for that Wei-Jang Omega because they thought it was going to be superior to Fans Toys or even DX9. They were like, I want $100 Omega.
No, and Justin, I agree with you, man. This was seen as the dirt last option. Like, nobody was counting on this to get this as their Omega. Like, this was gonna be a fucking curiosity piece. This was gonna be nobody's fucking Omega on the shelf.
Special needs Omega.
I can't even afford cocaine, but I'm gonna just blow this goddamn baking soda up. Yeah. That's what this is. It's a substitute that ended up being way more expensive than it should have been.
Yeah. But it looks, man, the finished product looks pretty fucking cool.
That's great, but that's not what we were promised. I was promised shit for cheap.
Well, I was promised a little fucking white medic dude for $100, and that ain't good.
You could have bought him and threw the rest of it in the trash.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. And he could have sat here and fought Hot Rod or something.
I want to watch that.
But
now I'm just gonna have to put fucking straws and fucking foam together and make this fucking doctor character.
Well, make sure you make 2.
Yeah, I'm gonna need 1 too. Make that 3.
So make 5. Might as well make 5.
Might as well.
Might as well suck my dick.
How about I let JC suck your dick and I get the figure?
What number?
No, I'm letting Tyler do that. Don't fucking.
What number am I in line?
You're a guest, so you get to go last.
Sloppy fists, I guess.
Yeah, oh god. By the time you get to the fist, you're basically hitting a fucking broken bottle of ranch. Oh, gross.
Oh, I just spit out my pop. Fuck.
Nice. You deserve to spit it out because you called it pop.
Fuck, dude.
I'm gonna need to alternate. JL's got a beard. Who else has a beard?
Everybody?
Or a mustache?
Yeah, I do.
Not me.
I have a beard.
A very light one. I wish I could grow out one of those like survivalist beards, but I just fucking can't. It's not.
You mean one of those like nerd cave beards?
Yeah, just fucking like fucking Jim DeAnvil, Neidhart, fucking, but like more bushy than that. Like, I'm just fucking Luke Harper if you watch current wrestling.
You need one of those Beast Wars fan beards.
Yeah, man. Seriously, I wish, but I can't. I can't do it.
Everybody I know that likes Beast Wars has a beard.
Yeah, not Tyler. He's a little young yet. All right. Well, shall we wrap it up, gentlemen?
I don't know. I'm having too much fun.
Yeah, I hear you. I gotta work at 5 though. So.
I just stuck a what do you call it? A clothespin over a screwdriver and set it up like a little stand, and I'm gonna call that Wei-Jang Galvatron.
Dude, throw that in hard pour.
I need to. It's a little tiny fucking paperclip
yeah, do it.
Clothespin.
Oh, all right.
99.95, boy.
I would like to thank our guests for coming on tonight.
Oh yeah, man.
Thank you, sir.
We enjoyed the time,
thank
and
Sorry about your reputation.
don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's all
and I'm sure we'll be. I'm sure some of us will end up making the rounds on breaking the mold at some point.
Oh, yes, definitely. We're gonna work out the schedule. I'm gonna hit up Energon Addict. We're just like a bunch of unorganized bucks. Like,
dude, I'm telling you, man, it is fucking. It's hard work, like scheduling a guest every week. It
is, and just to kind of like go into a little behind the scenes, it's like, hey, like, do we want to have one every week? Like, and I'm like, hey, we got enough people that kind of hit us up and want to be a part of it. Like, let's do it. Like, hey, but it's definitely like something that we got to work out. So I'm gonna get back to you, JC, and everybody else.
Yeah.
And, we'll work it out, and we'll get you guys on.
It's honestly like been one of the coolest things because every person that we've had on as a guest has become a friend of ours, and we've gotten to know more people in the community personally because of it. And so it's a really fun thing to do. So I hope you guys have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, thank you.
Wow, you just completely described how being sociable works.
Word up.
Well, I mean, we only talk on Facebook, so fuck.
Yeah, that is true. And you know what? Like, I know like a bunch of us were at the FCon last year and stuff like that, but at a big event like that, we're not going to be able to have like that one-on-one time. So that's why at this last NJCC, I appreciated being able to talk with Justin. And Justin, I've known you for a while now, but being able to talk to Chris and JC, I know I saw you at CFCon and stuff, but we didn't have a chance to kind of like interact one-on-one.
Oh, it was too fucking loud in the party room. Like, we couldn't do shit in there.
There's always something going on, you know what I'm saying? So we do stuff like this, we do the podcast, and so at least we know the next time we hook up, it's gonna be fucking a great time,
Oh man! And the cops did drag him out of there kind of fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
All right. With that, good night, folks.
Oh
See
boy.
you next week.
Goodbye.
Peace out. Later.
Bye.
Thanks for having me.
Since some people are too lazy to read, here are the Shat Outs. Shout out to TF and WTF Ever, the greatest Transformers and what the fuck ever Facebook group ever. LNOW Customs, an international consortium of Transformers customizers and creators. Third-party TF Crashers, Yula Blamo. Hail Hasbro Reviews with Matthew Deluxe Baldwin. Shattercast Uncut, Bobby Skullface Reviews, Legions for the Fountain of Material, the Realm of Collectors, Figure Bangin', the entire Cool Table Network, the Blackout and Shout podcast, and of course, girls who make bad decisions with their bodies, and the fathers and or uncles that made them that way. And we wouldn't be a show without alcohol, marijuana, and coffee, the lifeblood of this program. If you liked what you heard and want more, like and subscribe. Comment and let us know what you thought. If you're on Facebook and want to join the party and become a fellow dreg, we're at TF and WTF Ever. All hate mail can be sent to tkothepodcast@gmail.com. We'll be back next week with some more nonsense.
Later, alligator.
Right.
That was a good job.
That was a good
Jose,
job.
what do you do at the hospital?
My official job title, I'm a scheduling coordinator. So I work in the perioperative department, which is the OR. So I basically schedule patients for surgery. I correspond with different clinics, like to book patients and stuff like that.
I know exactly what that job is, and that is fucking hard work.
It's hard.
It's like the OR. Yeah, it's the OR version of the fucking air traffic control.
Yeah, exactly. And it's, to me, like, I feel like what I'm doing, like, I enjoy what I'm doing. So I don't want to say like it doesn't feel like work. It is work, but since I like what I'm doing, like, it doesn't feel like it's a difficult job for me. But I do realize the level of responsibility, because I'm like, man, you got to deal with patients. we have their lives in our hands. And I know I'm just doing the scheduling, but, if you make a mistake with a patient's name or date of birth, the insurance, anything that's out of whack as far as like scheduling a patient could potentially cost the institution thousands of dollars. And, so the level of responsibility as far as that is high. And then you got behind the scenes, the politics, because surgeons want to be scheduled at a certain time, and if the time's not available, I'm like, listen, I could give you this time. This is the time that's available. Like, no, I want 8 o'clock, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to see what I can do for you, but I can't make any promises. And it's just that's a whole other level, like behind just getting everything as far as like booking a case correctly. So, but I'm appreciative because it allows me to live my life, pay my bills, and pay my rent, and enjoy the hobby that we all enjoy. You know what I'm saying? So,
So you live in the Bronx, right?
yeah, dude, fucking, I'm in a decent area of the Bronx. It's not the
Nice.
best, honestly. You know what I'm saying? But it's rough.
My dad's from Pelham Parkway. My dad's whole family's from there.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
I'm right there, dude. That's where I grew up, Pelham Parkway. I grew up on Kruger Avenue, and Pelham Parkway was basically 1 block away from where I lived.
Nice.
Growing up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my
man.
dad took me to the apartment building that they lived in when he was a kid. And it's like it's pretty wild, man. It's an old ass building.
Dude, just to hear you say like, oh, Pelham Parkway, I'm like, oh my God, it's right there. So it's literally like about a mile from where I live currently. So that's funny.
Yeah. His whole family came over here from Ellis Island and like landed on the Bronx.
Yeah. Dude, it's nice. You know what, the Bronx, as far as like a borough, it's for the longest time been kind of like a piece of shit borough, you know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of areas where they're restoring, and places that were considered like, hey, you don't want to go in that neighborhood. They're getting better. Not to say, there's still plenty of areas that it's like, if you turn in the wrong corner, it's going to be bad for you. But
how's the level of gentrification there?
dude, this is New York just as a whole is like a fucking melting pot. You know what I'm saying? So, gay, straight, fucking whatever, Latino, Black, Asian, like, there's just so many people, Indian, Guyanese, the area that I'm in, there's a large Hispanic, Black, and Guyanese population. Like, like if you're from here and you grew up here, like all like kind of like the racism shit that we kind of see on the news and that you hear about, like, realize it's out there, but it's weird because as far as I grew up, it's definitely something that was there. But, we grew up with Black kids, with Albanians, with fucking Hispanics, with Mexicans, like, there's so many nationalities and races that it's to me, it was never a thing.
That's like where I grew up at, man. Because you don't have time for it. Like, if you're racist, you're gonna spend all day hating because like damn, there's everybody there.
Yeah, exactly. Like, to me, it's almost unfathomable, like how people can kind of still think that way, like in a modern society. But I do realize other places it's not like that, And I know that because I have family that lives in Virginia, the Richmond, Henrico like area, and even though every time I've visited, it's always been a pleasant experience, and I've always seen a good mix of people. I've also seen kind of like the segregation and the somewhat low-key like racism, and you get that here in the city as well. Like, I could say like I've been fortunate because even though I am Hispanic, Puerto Rican, my skin tone is very light, you know what I'm saying? And it's due to my mother's side. Like, she could pass for almost like a white woman, if you think about it. So and it's definitely helped me as far as like when I'm walking down the block or walking to work, or just walking around in general, and cops looking at me, they kind of don't give me like a second look, as opposed when I've seen minorities and stuff like that, and it's like, yeah, they're definitely fucking profiling. You know what I'm saying?
They're
Like
out there
that's
with like
real.
they're out there with like the skin tone chart, just like
Yeah,
they got like a line in the middle that's like stop, don't stop.
dude, this shit is real, man. Shit is
That's
real,
up, man.
and it's
It's really
hardcore. Like it's hardcore out here. You know what I'm saying? Like it is rough. It can be tough, but like it is what it is, man. It's life. I always subscribed to that philosophy that if something bad's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. If you can avoid a situation, do your best to avoid it. But
yeah.
I walk to work every day, and it's literally about 2.5 miles, and I do it for the exercise and to save money on the Metro card and transportation and stuff like that. But like where I walk through, the neighborhoods I walk through are not great neighborhoods. Like
Oh no.
easily on any given day, something potentially bad could happen. You know what I'm saying? But I walk with my head up, always with my face forward. I don't stare people down, but I always walk with my head up high, and I always act like I belong there because this is where I grew up. I do belong here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I know how it is, and you get that respect. Like so, it's definitely different for somebody that's not used to that. And if somebody, you might see somebody that looks a little tough, or you're in a rough part of town, you might have that tendency to kind of like put your head down and kind of like, and people could tell immediately when you're not from the area.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I'm saying? So I've always told my friends and shit like that when we've been in rougher neighborhoods, like, I'm like, yo, you need to fucking act like you fucking belong here. Because if you look like you're shook, then they're going to fuck with you.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But you don't act like you're shook. And it's like, even if they might not know you and they've never seen you before, don't act shook. And then more than likely, you won't get fucked with.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
No. Okay, man.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say, like, no lie. Like, I've been to New York like a handful of times. I only been there at night, like one night. It gets dark. I bail the fuck out. As soon as you see pocketbooks coming out for sale on the curb, I get the fuck out.
You know what, dude? It's gotten a lot better. Like I was walking around with Chris last night, and I told him we were on 42nd Street. Like that was his first time on 42nd Street, Times Square, Midtown Manhattan. I'm like, dude, if you would have been here 16 years ago, all of this shit was just a bunch of fucking sex shops and prostitution.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Like, and yeah, and I caught the tail end of it because I was probably like maybe 16. So that was like 96, 95, 96 is kind of 97 is when they started cleaning all this shit up out here. You know what I'm saying? So
fucking Giuliani.
Yeah, it was Giuliani. He was cracking down. So, so when we went downtown to hang out, I'm fucking 16 years old, underage technically, but we had these dudes on 42nd Street like, hey, come on, come in. And I actually was telling him about a spot. You paid $5 to get in, but it was technically $1 to get in, and then the other $4 got you 4 tokens. And when you went into the spot, it was these circular booths, and when you walked in, you could see the girls on top of the booths, like, "Hey guys, come over here, da 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 da." And, you go into the booth, and the 4 tokens that you got when you paid your $5 to get in, you just, if you put 1 token in, maybe 1 token gave you 2 minutes. So if you put 4, you had your 8 minutes. You put that in, the girls are inside the booth, so it's like a circular room. And the window opens, and then they're like, "Hey, what's up? You want, what do you want? Titties, ass, or pussy?" So it was $2 for titties, $3 for ass, $5 for pussy. What are you gonna pay for? Of course, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna throw your $5 down.
Did you tell him you wanted a Philly cheesesteak?
And that's how these spots were. Like, you were literally like, if you put 1 token in, you had 2 minutes. If you put the 4 in, or however many you bought, and you just be finger popping these chicks or filling them up or whatever through the little fucking 5-inch window, 10-inch window, whatever it was.
Damn.
Crazy, man. It was fucking crazy back then. But so it's like, considering like how it was back then and to the way it is now, where now you know, you got The Lion King on Broadway and Aladdin, and it's McDonald's and all the Dave and Buster's, and it's very bright and clean, and you know, clean I say loosely because of course you see garbage on the ground, shit like that, but just the bright lights and the city and the way all that is, it's definitely like an experience if you ever get to come through and do it.
Yeah, I've been to Times Square in 2001.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember seeing any of those sketchier places. Just lots of lights.
Of all the years ago, that makes me suspicious,
Hey, but where can you go in town to find those sketchy places now?
Well, they're still there, but you know what? Like instead of being like on the main strip, like let's say 42nd, so you have like the streets, so it's like 41st, 42nd, 43rd, and then the cross streets are avenues. So you got 7th Avenue, 8th Avenue, 9th Avenue. So the main strips, like the streets, 40th, 41st, you'll find mainstream stores, theaters, restaurants, stuff like that. But on the avenues, like 7th Avenue is relatively clean because that's Times Square. That's Midtown Manhattan. But then you get to 8th Avenue and 9th Avenue, and then you'll kind of still find a couple of those like sex shops, stuff like that still. The little,
where can I find the heroin at?
Oh, Jesus.
Well, you know what? And actually, like, as much as they cleaned up, that's stuff that you could still find out there. Like honestly, like you know what I'm saying? Like it's just not as in your face as it was back in the day.
Like if I want to relive Panic in Needle Park, where do I go?
You could go to Washington Square Park, the Village, shit like that.
Fuck yeah, that's where you drop me off, pick me up in like 4 days.
Oh God, dude.
Yo, Jose,
Fucked up.
do you want to keep all your job shit and everything on the wraps? Because that was all good shit that we just talked about for the last 20 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, the job shit is fine, you know what I'm saying? Like,
okay.
If you know me, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, people that ask, they know what I do. Like, I've posted pictures, like, you know, on my Instagram, if you've seen it. It's more toy-related and geek-related stuff, but I have another account, which I was trying to make more fitness-related, but it's also, like, more of my personal life. So I'll post pictures from work and stuff like that. So, you know, most people know that I work in a hospital. They just might not know exactly what I do. Like, most people think I'm a nurse. Like, I'm not a nurse.
Yeah, I thought you were a nurse.
Yeah, I wish I was. I'd be making fucking, you know, really good money. But, yeah, for a good while, I was clocking at least a good 20 hours, between 20 and 22 hours of overtime every single check. So that's what pays for the hobby and stuff like that. I'm like, hey, I could buy this, I could buy that. Like, it's no problem.
Well, plus,
you know,
you're in the you're in the most expensive city in the goddamn world, so
True.
That's probably just about poverty level, isn't it?
Yeah, basically. Like, basically even what I'm making is considered middle class. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not upper class in any type of way. Like, if I get overtime, then I'm getting by. And then of course, if you have like a, you know, a partner, a wife, you know, spouse that makes somewhat of a similar kind of like salary, then you're doing okay. If you were doing it by yourself, then you could get by, but you're not going to be doing that well. So I'm looking to get out of the city, and get into the DMV area. Like, ideally, Virginia would be ideal because my sisters live there, and my mom, she just recently retired, and she has a house down there. So honestly, like, if I wanted to, like, my lease here in my apartment is up at the end of the year. I do have bills that I'm paying as far as, like, you know, like credit card debt, stuff like that. But I could save up enough money where I could make monthly payments for that stuff, you know, for a good maybe, you know, 6, 7, 8, 9 months. You know what I'm saying? And I could just leave and kind of live rent free, go down to my mom's house, and then just try to get work down there.
I'm telling you, man, if you make that much money in where I live, you're rich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
You're the president of Iowa.
Like,
with that much
you can
money.
buy a fucking house that's like $1 million mansion somewhere else.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you know, like, I know what I'm paying monthly. Like, I'm paying basically, just to round it off, $1,200 a month for rent. That's a mortgage. That's a mortgage
more than my
payment.
house payment.
You know,
Yeah.
and I'm living in a shitty little 1-bedroom apartment. I don't have a lot of space here, and I have no amenities. Electric separate. I don't, I don't have a car, but if I did, I don't have a parking space or anything like that. Like, it's rough out here. It's definitely rough,
All right.
that type of money. Like, I'm like, you know what? Like in Virginia, I could be paying $850 or $900 for a 2-story townhouse. For maybe 2 bedrooms. I'll have a parking spot. Electricity will probably be included, and I know maybe certain jobs in that area might not pay as much as what I'm getting here, but since the scale of living and the price that you're paying is different, it would be fine. Even if I was getting paid, let's say maybe $20 an hour or something like that, I would have a lot more for that money than what I'm getting here in New York City.
That's the thing that gets me, man. Because like down here, what I make, I live pretty good. But when I go on vacation in New York, that shit's expensive.
Yeah, dude, it's rough.
Like the food's expensive, everything's expensive.
You could find decent spots to eat where it's not too much, but like if you want to go to like a nice steakhouse or something, you're paying fucking $60 for that fucking T-bone,
And we spent like almost $200 at that Italian joint in Times Square. It was pretty good. It was that family style place. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
They have like Olive Garden.
No, it's not Olive Garden. It's the place with some like reputation over there near Times Square.
I'm not sure. There's so many spots and that I haven't even discovered it, and I've lived here all my fucking life.
Like, you buy your lasagna by the tray. It's family style. Like, it was really good, but it was really expensive.
Yeah. And then even like as far as like lodging and stuff, like Chris, he had to come up for a couple of days. He said he was staying in a Holiday Inn, which is a Holiday Inn is not really like a high class like hotel. At least I wouldn't consider it that. And he was paying, I think he said it was like $180 a night. And that was not even Midtown Manhattan. That was kind of like Queens, which is like one of the outer boroughs.
I've never stayed in the city before. I always stay in Newark and just huff it on the bus to the train station and take the train in town.
The Port Authority and stuff. Yeah, dude, it's rough. Like, I was recently looking up, because I've never looked up hotel prices for here, because I'm never going to stay in a hotel like here. It's always I'm traveling elsewhere. But my girlfriend said she had family coming in from Puerto Rico, and she was like, look up some hotels in Manhattan, because she didn't want them to stay here in the Bronx, because, again, the Bronx is rough, you know? Like, you don't want to put them in the wrong area where they're not used to. So, I was looking up places in downtown, and I'm like, hon, like, these places are $200, $250, $300 a night. So even if they're gonna stay 2 nights, it's gonna cost them after taxes and fees. It's gonna be like $600, maybe $700.
Yeah, that's in the city.
And she was like, nah, that's too much. That's too much. She was like, you know what? Let them figure it out. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, throw some blankets on the floor. Here they come.
Exactly. And I told Chris he wants to come up for a con. They did a convention here. It was called the 5 Points Festival. So not like a Comic-Con, like they kind of are more like independent figure makers and stuff like that. More obscure kind of like companies. So they're doing another one this year. He wants to come up for it. So I told him, I'm like, dude, if you want, you could just stay here in my place. Just bring an air mattress. I'm in a 1-bedroom apartment. You could sleep on my couch, which is not the most comfortable. If you bring an air mattress, just stay here, so you don't have to worry about spending $200 fucking dollars like on a hotel or more. So he was like, yep. He was like, yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been to New York in a while, man. I need to get back up there.
Yeah, last time I was there, I think my wife and I went to see both a Rangers game and an Islanders game. And
nice.
we got out to the island, and we're at Jamaica Station, and you know the reputation of that fucking place.
Oh my god, dude!
It's fucking
just
earned.
Being in the subway, like you could just see it. Like, it doesn't smell good. You see all the fucking garbage on the tracks. Like, compared to like other places I've been, like LA, like their subway system not as robust as ours, but it's fucking like clean.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
it's like a 40-year running TFCon. That shit never stopped for like 40 years.
All right. Well, I got to sign off, gentlemen. I will talk to you guys later.
Yeah, I better get out too.
Same.
I guess.
Good night, man.
Good night.
Right, yo.
Jose, thanks for joining us, man.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it so much.
Yeah.